This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, the Ginger Geek Matt Delhauer joins the fun as we review the premiere episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus and Zack Snyder's 4-hour Justice League.
Geek boner.
Plus, we celebrate a huge milestone. We got a new Cameo celebrity shout out to share, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, March 22nd, 2021.
Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, what's up? Hello, listener, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
And joining us, he puts the hoe in HBO Max. It's Zack Snyder's Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
Hold on while I kill someone violently. All right, I'm finished.
Rugs is going to be in black and white and slow motion, and just
I'm going to be in a box in black and white, and the next version of the Justice League is going to be a flip book. If you want to get as old-timey as possible.
Sure, why not? Also joining us, my favorite ginger geek, it's Matt Delhauer. What's up, buddy? Welcome back.
Hey, I guess that makes me the theatrical version of Matt Delhauer.
You are the theatrical cut. No, you're the director's cut.
I'm very bright, not nearly as funny as I think I am, but I'm not here nearly as long.
And you just, everything you say isn't just exposition. You know,
no, it is. Actually, everything I say is exposition.
It is exposition. No character.
Is this a what the fuck happened? What's he doing here?
Thanks for joining us, Matt, on a non-what the fuck happened.
The truth be told, when I first wanted to come on, I thought that's what this was going to turn into.
It might still turn into that.
Oh, shit.
Based on our reviews. But look, let me talk to the first-time listener. If you're a listener, you just turned this shit on, and you are like, well, what are these assholes about? Are they reliable? Are they going to show up? Should I subscribe? Well, you have joined us on our official 6th anniversary of the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Jock and Nerd.
Oh, shit.
Right. We started
Jesus Christ.
March 23rd, 2015. We have this officially complete 6 years, 312 weeks of weekly podcasts, and we've only missed 2 weeks.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Delhauer, you're here on a momentous anniversary occasion.
And I didn't even do that on purpose. I usually like to insert myself into things that mean something to you, so I feel important by proxy.
Well, happy 6 years.
6
Happy
years.
birthday, everyone.
Yeah, congratulations.
Imran, what'd you get us?
I got
we get a bonus?
Yeah.
You want a bonus? I'll give you. Here's your fucking bonus.
He got you ball deodorant.
Fuck's sake, man, you're amateur.
Here's your bonus.
Get the fuck out.
What, you want another bonus? You want some more bonuses?
Well, after 6 years, we lost that sponsorship with the ball deodorant.
No, we've done sponsorships.
Was it because of my reading?
No, that was the best Manscaped read ever.
I'm surprised they didn't contact you afterwards and go,
I sent it to
you're
them.
the type of guy we need to talk about ball.
They loved it. But just to put this in context, we have podcasted through 3 American presidencies.
Right?
We have podcasted longer than the entire existence of the Marvel TV shows on Netflix.
Oh, shit.
Right.
Came and went, and so that's a long fucking time. I don't know how this happened. Unrelated, I want to share a new Cameo celebrity shout-out.
Oh,
really?
shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is back?
Wow.
This is back. This one is sponsored by our patron saint of awesome, Seth Morgan. I was supposed to share this last week, and I fucking
What
forgot.
about David Mobley? What happened to that guy?
David Mobley-
Does he not know where he is anymore?
He ran out of Cameo money.
Yeah, the stocks have been down, so I don't know if how his portfolio
He
is doing.
invested in a ton of crypto, and it just went
now
south for him.
Dogecoin, but that's what he uses. He's like
He
a
still
day
doesn't
trader.
realize that this is a podcast.
He's never listened. Anyways, I'm going to surprise you. Let's just hear who this Cameo shout out is. I should have played this last week. I forgot. But it's kind of nice for our 6-year anniversary.
This is Frank Grillo. You know me. But who are you? You're the discerning, sophisticated type of person who enjoys all the latest comic book and superhero TV and movie news, pop culture references, witty banter. Me neither. I'm just here for the dick jokes.
And that's it.
Is it really Frank?
That's Frank Grillo in the chat, you guys.
Sounds like my Uncle Ted.
I click on the link. I posted the Cameo page. You can see him. He looks very handsome and cut and buff. But you can see him. He's in like a trailer or something. I'll post the link.
Deep V.
He's got a nice deep V
and a very borderline red tan.
Where does it look like he is? Like I thought he was on a boat, but it looks like a trailer on set of a movie or something.
It looks like he's probably in like Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Do you think he's in New Mexico in an air
He looks
conditioned?
like he's in a trailer somewhere.
Yeah, he looks like in a trailer. So Seth Morgan, thank you very much. We remember last week we talked a whole bunch about Frank Grillo.
I'm going to talk about him again.
Yeah,
I watched another Frank Grillo movie.
All right, the last thing. So that's a lot of fun.
I'm watching them all, Frank.
Last announcement before we get started. I just want to announce to everyone I got my first fucking Pfizer dose.
Oh.
I'm halfway.
Did it make your dick hard?
Vaccinated. No, it made it go in though. It's very weird.
Viagra / vaccine.
They gave me Viagra instead of the
like
Pfizer.
Every old guy would be running up to take it. It didn't matter if you like Trump or not.
That's the way to get over vaccine.
Yeah, they should have
hesitancy.
really cross-marketed that thing.
Put some Viagra in that fucking vaccine. Just double good. So I'm half vaccinated. For
now we
whatever
need you
that's
to
worth.
sit and wait for 15 minutes in case you have any kind of reaction.
Yeah,
and then if
nothing
you have that reaction for more than 4 hours, contact a doctor.
Imran's skin turns back to brown.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
It reverses for the
Please,
life.
as soon as I get the second one, it's just like Venom, but with brown, and it just covers me.
Your brown skin certainly starts to cover your body like Steppenwolf's armor.
Oh god,
retracts from his skin.
Prickle,
the
comes
opposite.
out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I was concerned because there's no studies about people with vitiligo taking this vaccine. There's no fucking data.
Well, they don't have enough albinos to do that shit.
No, that's not albinoism. That's different. Do not lump us together. We have different needs.
Now everyone feels bad for Imran.
Yes.
You don't want that.
But we'll see. I know it's just a little sore and no reaction, so I'm fine. We'll see what happens.
I'm excited. Frank Grillo's cameo shout
got
out.
Frank Grillo.
Imran's got a vaccine.
I got the
He's going to
Pfizer.
turn brown again. This
Yeah.
is a good start to the
6
show.
year
You want to turn
anniversary.
brown again, though?
No, I don't.
The benefits
I don't
of being
know.
white, I feel like, are much higher.
I would love to be able to switch back and forth. That would be amazing. But I didn't
Whenever
think
it
that's
suited
possible.
your needs.
Well, that'll be Imran's X-Men power.
Listen, the whiteness benefit will come back around. It's cyclical, comes and goes. So
I suggest that you rent the movie Soul Man.
yes, and then powder afterwards.
Tanning pills. Do they have those? I'm sorry.
This always diverges into like making fun of Imran, which is one of my favorites.
It's what we love
6
to
years
do
of
here.
it, man.
6
Yeah.
6 years.
And it's counting.
Part of the
6
reason I
years.
stayed.
It's the 6 more years of you fucking shitting on me. Let's get started, you bastard.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Oh my God, we got 2 big fucking Geek Boner reviews.
Geek Boner.
For you, listener, you've seen the title. We're going to start with the latest Marvel show on Disney Plus. Marvel
Disney
Plus.
Plus.
I was
Disney
going to
Plus.
say, they might as well call him Marvel
Yes,
Plus.
it's Marvel Plus. This is Jock and Nerd Plus to the max. Whatever. The Falcon and Winter Soldier first episode premiered. Here is your spoiler if you haven't seen it.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This episode called The New World Order. That's a Hulk Hogan thing, isn't it? Is that what you mean? What is that the song for the WWE New World Order?
It was WCW. Get it right, and then
For
yes,
life.
for life.
I thought of isn't that a band also? Rugs? Is it? No, New Order is the band.
New
Never mind.
Order.
I got him confused.
Yeah.
New World Order. This episode running about like 42 minutes, so these are your hour-long episodes. This whole series
Or 42 minutes.
about 40. What?
You said hour-long episodes.
What it
or
really-
42 minutes.
Well,
In quotes.
Yeah, they say
With
hour-long.
commercials.
Yes, what they mean is 42. It's never.
I don't really understand the idea of streaming platforms that stick to like the standard television length of TV episodes.
Yeah, it's weird.
Where it's like, oh yeah, it's a quote unquote hour long drama, but it's 42 minutes in case you put commercials in. In case who does? You're the one who dictates that.
Yes, good point. Same
You
with
think
like
they're going to
sitcoms.
syndicate it in like some dumb cable channel like TNT will have it?
Maybe like years down the line.
If Disney Plus ever fails.
Once
Yeah.
it caves.
happens.
You know what? I wonder if they have deals with like TV channels in like Europe or something.
Internationally, they got the Star thing, and they have different different services internationally. So some may insert
like
ads
Beirut and stuff.
Yeah, maybe it shows up on Hulu. Falcon and Winter Soldier, created and written by Malcolm Spellman, who has written on Empire in the past. That's in his credits. And this series is directed every episode by Kari Skoglund, who is best known for Handmaid's Tale, The Punisher on Netflix, The Walking Dead, The Americans, and of course starring Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, the Falcon, and Sebastian Stan as James Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. And apparently Disney, I just read this, Disney announced that this premiere was the most viewers for any previous Disney Plus show over the course of its opening weekend.
Oh, shit.
But, they don't give out numbers for anything, so they can say whatever the fuck they want, I guess.
Sure.
And we're like, sure, okay.
It's better than WandaVision?
That's what they said. They
Well,
said
it probably had the built-in hype of everyone liking WandaVision, and
Well, I also think
We'll
it's
see.
because this immediately, from just seeing any sort of like advertisement for it, you know exactly what you're getting into. It's going to be a Marvel like spy thriller with these characters. Whereas WandaVision, a lot of people were like, I don't know what the fuck this is supposed to be, and I might just avoid it.
Yeah, it was bigger numbers than even Mandalorian Season 2 premiere, and WandaVision is what Disney is saying.
Wow.
Anthony, plot me on this first episode. What happens? You're good at the concise plots.
sure. So this is sometime after the events of Endgame, and Falcon is struggling with the mantle of being Captain America, so he gives it up right away. And he's trying to get back into life. He's still doing jobs on the side for the Air Force, but he's trying to basically figure out if he's worthy to be Captain America. On the other side, you have Bucky Barnes, who, for the first time in his life, doesn't have anything to do, and he's fucked up. So he's seeing psychologists. He's dealing with the trauma of being the Winter Soldier for the last 90 years, and he's trying to figure out what his purpose in life is and how he can atone for all his crazy shit that's happened. And the world itself still is reeling from Endgame, and the world is also looking for heroes. So that's where we're at.
Pretty good. Solid setup for the series, giving you all the pieces. Delhauer, you're our guest. Why don't you start us off overall? What'd you think? What moments? Who do you want to talk about?
Overall, I did enjoy it. I felt that being the first episode, it suffers from that sort of, we have to set everything up, we have to show you the players, and we kind of have to set the board. But beyond that, we'll maybe drop one major plot element for you,
Which they did.
and that's about it. So it's a solid enough setup, and it definitely has me interested for the next one, but it didn't blow me away too much in being like, oh, holy shit, guys, fucking Falcon and the Winter Soldier is amazing.
Yeah.
This is part 1 of Act 1. So, like, I'm interested.
Yep.
So don't fuck up.
Anthony, not a lot. There's only 6 episodes, so they got not a lot of time to set things up. These characters, ironically, they, like you said, they don't even get together in this episode. But did you enjoy kind of the slower pace of getting to know these two before they get thrown together? And what'd you think overall?
I echo Matt's thoughts. I do. I mean, first off, it is slower, but the first 10 minutes is the most action you've seen from Marvel in 2 years.
Oh yeah,
so
it's amazing.
Starts off really hot. I do enjoy like when Marvel dives into these characters and them living normal lives. So
yeah,
I kind of enjoyed that. As I hinted at my recap, I kind of see already like this is about these two guys, and one guy's trying to find out if he's worthy. The other guy's trying to find out his purpose. They'll both rely on each other to figure that out. You don't see these characters come together yet. I think this first episode didn't like blow me away either. I definitely enjoyed it. I'm along for the ride. It wasn't like WandaVision where I was just like, whoa, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
But I feel like with this being a 6-episode show, WandaVision kind of lent itself to being mini arcs or mini things within an episode because of the format of 50s, 60s, 70s. This seems like it's feeling like it'll be a 6-hour movie type thing.
Absolutely.
So it kind of ends on a cliffhanger, but it doesn't end in a way where you're like, this is a condensed episode where it's just like you can recap everything and feel like it can stand on its own. I feel like this episode will be part of a larger picture, as episodes are, and I feel like we'll be able to better evaluate it then. But overall, I did like it.
No, you guys both said it. It's a part one, act one. It's less episodic than just parts of a movie. Ruggs, now, our most discerning critic, you famously weren't so hot about the beginning of WandaVision. And again, you're like,
right.
It's better to talk about, to watch. Now, this one. Where
I enjoyed the action in the beginning. I thought that was fun. I was like, whoa, this is on a good level. This is like, definitely doesn't feel like a TV show. This feels like a movie level action. And believe me, I've seen some bad movies with bad action. So I know what I'm talking about.
On his Frank Grillo.
Starring Frank Grillo?
Yeah, I'm watching lots of Frank Grillo movies. So I know what I'm talking about here, people.
Frank Grillo's going to hate us. We talk shit about him.
No, but I mean, like,
he got his money.
He did. He got his cameo money.
Listen, this is he got his cameo money. He's happy. He's not going to listen to this. He has contempt for guys like us. You understand? We're like the fucking scum on the bottom of his shoe. What was I saying? Anyway,
good action.
So the action was good, and of course, it felt like a Marvel movie. It felt like kind of like in the vein of Winter Soldier, and Civil War. It felt kind of like in that same family, and when that's exactly what I kind of wanted.
Fuck yeah!
I wanted it to feel like a Marvel movie on TV. Obviously, it's decompressed because they're spreading it out over a bunch of episodes, and hopefully it leads to like epicness all around. I know that there's going to be other characters that are going to come in that we've seen in the trailers, so I'm excited about that. Of course, when we get to the end of this, we see that they've taken the shield and handed it off to a new Captain America, and I felt like that was the part of the show where I soured on it, because it was just like, to me, like if you're going to introduce a character, and they might be doing this on purpose, maybe they don't want us to like him at all, but it would have been cooler if they made us like him than made us hate him.
My God, they must. Let's start there. This is now
that shot is not complimentary at all.
So Wyatt Russell, the son of Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, is revealed at the very end. America is not ready for a black Captain America, and Sam is also not ready to be Captain America. But this dude shows up, and you think he could have put his teeth in before shooting this shot, right? Why is this a squishy-faced fucking, no disrespect to Wyatt, I'm sure he's a good-looking guy.
This is totally the costumer's fault.
Well, the costume itself isn't bad, but the helmet, my God.
The truth
fit is ill.
Wyatt Russell is, 9 times out of 10, if you see anything of Wyatt Russell, he has a full beard and long hair because he lives in that I look like Kurt Russell from the early 1980s.
That's the problem.
Thing.
Yeah.
So fully shaven,
it's weird.
It's already like, oh, you rock the beard because you do not have a clean shaved face.
No, you got squishy face, and the meme of the dude from Up is amazing. It's right
What
up.
I'm really hoping is I'm really hoping that the first thing we are going to see of him when we come back to episode 2 is going to be like, oh, he's out there and he's waving and he's like, oh yeah, I'm the new Captain America. And then we go like back behind the scenes of him walking inside and him like ripping the helmet off and looking at somebody and going, I fucking hate this helmet.
It makes me look like I have no teeth. But you're right, Ruggs. If they wanted us to hate U.S. Agent or this character, well, you nailed it, Marvel. I don't know how you're going to redeem Squishy Face.
I think that's the intent. I looked up U.S. Agent. I get him confused with Nuke.
Oh, Nuke is a bad guy.
But I believe I think they're going to make U.S. Agent also a bad guy.
We know that he's going to be a bad guy. It's just that it would have been cooler if it was like we want you to like him, but then he ends up being evil, and then you're like heartbroken. But that's not going to be the new Cap.
I think, it's sadly, it feels like what they're going with is that it's right off the bat, you're going to look at him, and as you look at him, you're like, you are not Captain America, you don't look like Captain America, and I don't want to get behind you as being Captain America.
I reject you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Frankenstein rejected his creation.
I kind of... I would also like for them to do the way where they build it as like, oh no, like you're gonna like this guy, like he's just like he's Cap 2.0, he's just like Steve Rogers. But I think the problem is we also did that with Nuke in the Jessica Jones show.
Yeah.
Where it was like, oh, he's a great guy and he's really cool and like they get along, and then like steadily you're like, oh, and he's got a drug problem and a rage problem.
Yeah. I feel like this guy's going to be a little more brutal than Cap would be and not have the same ethics, obviously.
They might play up like... you can already kind of see the line with Falcon, with some of the troubles he's dealing with with the banks.
Yeah.
I could see them playing up the line of U.S. agent being like a super conservative, right wing, brutal guy, and I could see them like maybe not like going all the way with it, but at least like hinting at the fact that like, hey, this is a really conservative bad guy.
I guess the thing that I wonder is whether they're going to build him to be a full-on super-powered U.S. agent, or if we're going to get like another Mandarin swerve where he's literally just a fucking poster boy for their propaganda.
Right. Has he been serumed? We don't know. Is he just wearing the suit? It's going to be interesting to see, because I read somewhere where like during COVID, like they shot most of it, but they had time to fine tune some things, and how much they're going to pick up on the political shit that happened this year, because this show is primed to be super topical. Anthony, you mentioned Sam. Let's talk about Sam and his arc. Let's talk about the fucking opening. It is a 10-minute opening action scene.
Geek boner.
That largely, I found this article on Cinema Blend, it was done with practical effects.
Oh, shit.
I've seen videos of those dudes in those squirrel suits, those wingsuits. I've seen them fly next to caves and cliffs and go through things, but I didn't know you could fly from a helicopter into another fucking helicopter with a dude on your back on one of those suits. We got George St. Pierre as Batroc.
Back.
He was great. And then Red Wing acting as psychic was so fucking perfect.
I also love the concept that they build with these bad guys being like, okay, we've hijacked this plane and Falcon has shown up.
Right.
And he comes in and he's got his powered wings that can also be slashing blades, and they can also be a shield and everything. And then these guys realize our plan is to try and fly out to a helicopter on these wingsuits. And now we have to do that while Falcon's on our asses. A man who literally has a super powered wingsuit.
Well, he takes out all of them except for George St. Pierre, but then... And then they're also racing towards the border of Libya, so he had to pull back.
You had that little thing to basically, like a timer on
ticking
him.
clock, and then the last move was amazing, and Batroc survives, so he's still around.
I actually want to watch that scene again.
Fuck, I watched it twice. High death count in this episode, too.
Of course.
A lot of people dying.
Well, and you haven't actually... There hasn't been very many scenes of Falcon doing his thing on his own. He's always been a side big character.
Yeah.
You've even seen Winter Soldier do stuff on his own when he was evil, but never really Falcon. So it was a nice little spotlight to put on the character that a lot of people might, other than Anthony Mackie bringing some gravitas to the role, he's kind of a joke character in the comics. So it was nice to see something good from that character.
Yeah, I was going to say, even in Civil War, when he's fighting Spider-Man, it's him and Bucky fighting Spider-Man.
Right, and he's always kind of been like, you fly, but you're not Iron Man. Like, you have a tech suit as well. So it's nice to get a little bit of a spotlight on that character.
I'm trying to remember who it was. I listened to, I think it might have been the Mr. Sunday Movies podcast on YouTube. One of the things that they said about it is like, the nice thing about Falcon, and especially the way they have him in the MCU, is that unlike Iron Man, where it's like he has a gadget or a new toy for every single thing that he tries to do, like Falcon literally has maybe a set of 4 things that he can do, but he has them down to a fucking science.
He's very good at them. Yeah, but one shot to the back of that fucking getup, and he's also very vulnerable. He just fucking tear into those wings.
A shot to the head and he's dead.
Well, yeah.
I want to reiterate, because I know you brought this up, the body count, but I mean, Marvel made that decision that, this is going to be realistic. Yeah. These guys he's a soldier, and soldiers do shit that, like drop people off a huge drop that they just die and splatter into the ground. So there was that kind of stakes. It felt dangerous,
Yeah, it's grounded. It's dangerous. It's different than WandaVision. There's no powers, just people with strong wills and enhanced body parts fucking getting things done. Yeah. And weapons.
I enjoyed, if we're going to stay on Falcon, I did enjoy, as I mentioned earlier, when both of these characters got to live as just normal people. And I like that they kind of keep going back to the fact that, hey, you were gone for 5 years and you're trying to help us out.
Yeah.
But, like, you don't have any money. Like, you can't just be a hero and just show up to the bank and think people are going to give you money. I enjoyed the scene with him and the banker, like, fawning over him, yet also heavily implying that because he's black,
he's still black man, can't get a loan, even here in
and
Avengers.
They haven't been working.
Yeah.
you're not going to get any money.
Literally, like for the first time, he thought he has to eat humble pie in a way of, as an Avenger, he just had things handed to him.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, but now you're not an Avenger, and you're also a black man in the South trying to get money from a bank.
Now, this is how racist it is. Vision, who's not even human, could buy a house.
Yeah, how did Vision? What the fuck? Well, and then he turned super white.
Why did he get paid?
Yeah, well, and Vision turned super white afterwards. But the bank dude, first of all, great fucking scene. You know, Sam visits his sister Sarah, owns a boat with him, left by their father. She wasn't blipped, so she's like, "I've kept this boat afloat for 5 years. Where were you?" And then at first, the bank dude thinks he's a football player. Fucking racist guy.
Where do I know you from?
And then, but how did the Avengers make a living? What a fucking question. Like, nobody's ever asked that
And
before.
the thing that I find funny about that is that you kind of come to recognize that, like, they lived at the Avengers compound, so literally, like, just everything was provided for them.
But now how does Bucky live? Like, he's got an apartment. Exactly.
They must have set it up for him.
I'm going to say Hydra money.
Yeah.
Did Stark pay him a fucking, even like a
I don't know. There's some inconsistencies with this. But
you know what? I bet Bucky smuggled like just some sort of tiny piece of technology out of Wakanda and just sold it. And now he's a fucking billionaire and just lives in an apartment because he's a humble billionaire.
I loved earlier before with Sam and Don Cheadle. You get to see Don Cheadle as Rhodey, and you have a great conversation about Sam not keeping the shield, and so everybody thinks Steve Rogers is dead. The world thinks Steve is dead.
Right.
I actually I liked Sam's art. I like Sam's thing, but I actually more enjoyed Bucky's little side thing because that's always been the thing. Like, he's killed all these people, and we've never had him really deal with it. And I like the dichotomy of, like, he's trying to atone for it. All he's done is, like, killed people for 90 years. So the thing he tries to do to atone for it is he hangs out with this old Japanese guy, and then you realize, oh, he killed his son.
Holy shit, it's so
That's
heartbreaking.
why he's hanging out with him, because he feels so bad about it.
His therapy session was so well shot and is so fascinating.
Really?
I thought it was.
I hated the cinematography of that scene.
Up close, like you're in
consistently flopping back and forth where I'm on their face.
You're like right in their face, but then there's that wide shot with the trees in the background of Bucky. But then it was I don't know. I kind of liked. It was very
different from what
it was
Marvel
intimate.
did,
Yeah.
I will agree that it's different, but I think the problem. I can understand if you're trying to convey through the cinematography that Bucky is uncomfortable being in his therapy session. But as time went on and we just held on these stupidly close-up shots of him and then the doctor and then him and then the doctor, it starts to feel like this isn't intentionally trying to tell me something. You don't have any other footage of this scene.
You don't have any, you didn't shoot any B-roll of this?
Hey, COVID.
And that's very possible. But like it felt like I understand the idea of like, oh, it's getting very in close because that's an uncomfortable way to like look at this and he doesn't like being here. But I'm like, you got to vary this up because I'm just not enjoying looking at it. And if I don't enjoy looking at your show, I don't want to watch it.
I did notice that too when I was watching it. I'm like, am I supposed to like this?
What is this angle? Why are we in their eyebrow?
It felt like indie the way they were shooting it. Like they were trying to do their best. Like camera tells the camera's telling you. I mean,
I didn't mind it ultimately. I just was like, whatever. But like, yeah, it did make me go, oh, I noticed this.
Yeah. It wasn't enough for me to like really want to be like, well, this is poorly made. This was a choice. I don't know if it was the right one.
It was a choice.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, you're going to have severe PTSD from 90 years of killing. We find out he's 106 years old on the awkward date that they have. And he's
that old guy's a great wing though.
Dude, he was amazing.
I would go with that old guy.
He was great.
He's like,
also, we found out that Bucky has quote unquote poor circulation.
Oh, well, that's what he said for them. Yeah, it's the couple. What's wrong with your arm? So here's my question. Nobody knows. Everyone knows Winter Soldier is a villain because I thought in Spider-Man.
I don't think everybody does.
No,
I don't think a lot of people know who Winter Soldier would be.
So he's not recognizable walking around like the rest of the dudes.
No, I feel like a lot of government agencies would know who he is. But like
he's been pardoned, so yeah.
He's getting pardoned.
They weren't plastering Bucky's face all over like
right.
The world being like, this is the Winter Soldier. He worked with the Avengers, but was a bad guy at one time.
Yeah, it's a messy. It'd be messy to put him out because if you remember Winter Soldier, he's been wearing that mask and assassin.
Yeah, you never saw his face.
On the run.
Yeah, and he was hiding.
Then Infinity War Endgame. I mean, he was there, but
we had a lot more to worry about.
He was in
Wakanda. A lot of shit going on.
Well, then, he mentions that one. He's like, I had some peace briefly in Wakanda, and that was a nice little callback. But yeah, basically, he's been running around doing crazy shit and has not had a chance to just live a life. And he's going to try, and he's kind of doing like a 12-step alcoholic program where he's got to make amends. And you hear him go, "I'm not Winter Soldier. I'm James Bucky Barnes, and I'm making amends."
Well, it's a good analogy for people that are have drug addiction or alcohol, and they hurt everyone else, and more than they hurt themselves, and they have to make amends. So it's a good analogy. If they go that route, they can explore that.
What were his 3 rules for making amends? I remember one of them was that he can't do anything illegal.
You can't do anything illegal. You can't hurt anyone.
Leave it in and then I forget, kill, right? Or you can't go outside the law.
It's one of them. And I think the third one is literally just that he has to make the announce that he's making amends for something he did. That's it.
No illegal, don't hurt anyone, and then you have to just say I'm making amends or something. But he's got a list of names that Yuri Nakajima was on there, and that dude was wrong place, wrong time. Like,
did you notice when they did the flashback? I liked his theme in Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah,
they brought it back very briefly.
Yeah, the flashback was sick.
Another thing that I saw somewhere online was that in that flashback, they think the person that he was sent to kill was, and I didn't watch the show, so I don't know, but like a Hydra hypnotist or a SHIELD hypnotist that was from Agent Carter.
I didn't see that. That's crazy. That show is not part of this, though. They don't acknowledge the fucking.
Well, if
Marvel.
they brought him back, then
actually, Agent Carter might be the only show they do acknowledge because if you remember Endgame, Jarvis is in.
Jarvis
Endgame.
is in there. Oh fuck! Maybe that is the only canon show.
And I think that was the only one that was actually.
Shit. Wow.
Like written or like there was some sort of.
I think
Marvel
the Russos were
connection.
involved with it.
Yeah, I mean
something like that.
They showed clips from Captain America in the first season. And Jarvis did show up. And what's her name? Haley Atwood has been in the MCU movies. So that would be that's weird.
Potential.
That's the one show that I guess
that is the
over.
One show.
That's the only show that's ever crossed over to the MCU.
Did Agent Carter cross over with SHIELD or that was
He did some crossovers with that too, I think, right? Didn't they hint at it at least?
Her, I think, when she was older.
I know the first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they would consistently bring up the things that were happening in the MCU movies.
Right.
But then they also shot themselves in the foot when they were like, let's do an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. By the way, the second movie we're putting out that year completely destroys S.H.I.E.L.D.
Kills S.H.I.E.L.D. Yes, this is awkward now.
Yeah.
But I love Bucky. I love both of these guys' arcs separately. I did enjoy spending time with them separately before, because clearly Bucky needs a friend, someone who's going to understand.
Do we want to get into the flag smashers?
Yes, then we have, let's get into that by talking about Torres, who is Sam's right-hand guy.
What's his first name?
His eyes and ears.
Is his name Clint Torres?
It might be Clint Torres. I don't know, but this is a character from the comic book, I believe, Clint Torres.
He's eventually becomes a Falcon.
He becomes the Falcon once Sam becomes Captain America. So he's investigating this, what do you call them? They're a terrorist group?
People that don't believe in any borders, that feel like it was better when the blip happened.
The flag smashers, they want down with nationalism, back to the blip. This is crazy, but I kind of love that there's a group of people that are like, no, it was better before. So they use AR stuff to mark where they're going, and I believe that's how some of these people actually did it. They use this technology. And then one dude has strength. I didn't understand this. So there's like a superpower guy in this group who's kicking everyone around.
Well, so funny enough, touching on the concept for the flag smashers as well as for Torres, I know that there was talk at one point that they were, I don't know if it was like actually brought up or if people were just kind of like speculating that one of the things that's going to come into play in this series is going to be the Terrigen Mist
from
Inhumans.
Oh, shit.
which could probably work out in the fact that in the comics, Torres becomes the Falcon because he gets experimented on by someone who essentially causes him to mutate and grow Falcon wings.
Oh, shit, he actually grows wings. Ooh, that's comic booky.
And that also then makes it so that you could very easily be like, oh, well, how are these random terrorists suddenly superpowered? And it's like, well, it's not super soldier serum. They're just mutants now.
So there's another kind of hint, maybe leading to Inhumans, that line where Torres says there's conspiracy theories about Steve Rogers on a base on the moon, which is where the Inhumans also have a base on the moon. But I thought that was kind of funny that there's conspiracy theories about Steve.
Yeah, bring back the Inhumans. Everyone wants it.
Everyone loved it the first time.
I kind of want the guy that looks like Space Ghost to show up. The flag smasher from the comics.
Oh, that's what they look like?
He looks like Space Ghost.
Have you never? Yeah, it's only one guy in the comics.
His name is Flag Smasher. Does he host a talk show?
It's a pretty silly look.
So you got all these things set up. You got these guys trying to bring anarchy back.
I really love the way that the Flag Smashers is essentially just flash mob terrorism.
Yeah, pretty much. They're like, here's the thing. Everyone show up now so we can steal some money and confuse the cops.
Then you're all going to wear these masks and you're going to run in circles.
You're going to get arrested and beat up. Sorry.
Yeah, you can get beat up while we get away with everything.
Timing-wise, this show takes place, I believe,
where do I sign up?
After WandaVision, but before Far From Home. Is that accurate? Does that make sense?
Well, who knows? Maybe.
I don't know any sort of like connection that proves that is true or not.
Well, all he said is it's been months since the blip, and in WandaVision it had been like weeks since the blip.
I don't know if it necessarily if that timing matters all that much.
I mean, I think it's possible because I mean, yeah, we do see Monica Rambeau come back from the blip in a flashback in WandaVision.
That was flashback, yeah.
But they don't really explain how long ago that was in relation to the main story.
Well, I think it was 3 weeks in WandaVision, right?
If possible, I don't remember being told one way or the other.
Like it was either 3 or 5 weeks, something like that. I remember it was like a number of weeks.
Okay.
Because when she talks to the head of what's his name, the Sword,
Hayward.
Yeah, he said, you've been back for like X amount of weeks.
That dude had a punchable face, just like this Wyatt Russell here has.
Yeah.
They both have like punchable faces. Okay, so this show takes place at,
because they're white. What the
at
fuck?
some point
Pretty
in
much.
time.
I come on here in good faith.
What? Look, I'm just saying. Look at squishy face Captain America. How do you not want to punch him in the face? Jesus fuck. Put some teeth in. All right. Well, again, that's good. Anybody have any final thoughts? Again, I think we'll wait. We won't rate this.
Well,
we'll
you know,
just
it's
wait
the first episode of a show.
Good setup.
It feels like, all right. It feels like they're on the right foot, pretty much, except for the squishy guy. And I guess we're not supposed to like him anyway, so I guess it's fine.
There you go.
Is this the point where we start making our wild fan theories?
You want? Yeah, go. You got a theory? What happened?
I don't
No,
think,
I don't at all.
I don't think this show. I don't think this show will have the same kind of buzz.
It's gonna be different.
I think it could have a lot of buzz.
Yeah,
but I don't think it'll have like WandaVision itself. Right off the bat, lent itself to fan theories because it starts off like a secret.
It's a
right?
mystery. Yeah,
yeah, it's a mystery, and there was and halfway through they freaking cock tease you with Pietro, that whole thing.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think this show will be in the same vein like that. I think there's a lot of potential for this show to dive into things that Marvel doesn't often dive into, like PTSD, things soldiers deal with. You know, being a black man, being a black superhero.
Yeah, I was going to say
there's a lot of
race and culture divides, stuff like
yeah,
that.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of potential there. I don't. If we've noticed any one thing from Marvel is I think they will go in those routes, but they will still play it relatively safe. So I don't expect something like super mind blowing where they take a definitive stand against something. I think they'll hint at all this stuff, but I'm willing to be surprised, and I think there's genuine I think there's plot points here that they can hit on that will make this show different and enjoyable, and I'm intrigued by what they have set up.
I mean, there could be some really nice moments where if Falcon becomes Cap, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, takes
Yeah.
over the mantle, that could be like a pretty monumental thing. So, I mean, there's opportunities for something kind of crazy like that to happen. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm intrigued.
We'll
All right,
see.
so I've got one theory.
Oh, you do? Okay.
That's going to
you
absolutely
actually
come
have a
true.
theory.
Okay.
And then I've got one thing that I want to see because I think it'd be cool.
Okay.
Are you going to be mad if your theory doesn't play out exactly how you want it to
I
play
will
out?
quit the internet.
Good, because that's
Theory number one.
That's what you do.
John Walker, U.S. agent, is Mephisto.
Yes, of course.
Okay, I'm on board with this.
Yes, his suit. There's an M on his suit. I noticed it looked like an M on his suit. Yes.
This is why he has the squishy face.
Yes.
His name is Walker, and if you turn
the
that W upside down,
there it
it's
is.
Mephisto.
Yes.
There you go.
It's
Boom.
clear as day.
Broke it open.
Yeah, right here. You heard it here, folks.
Now, the thing that I want to see, because I think it'd be really cool, and I feel like it's a thing they could do well, at least one fight scene with with Falcon and Winter Soldier in it.
Yeah.
Where they are trading off using Cap's shield against somebody.
We kind of saw them throwing the shield back and forth in some of the trailers. That would be, we haven't seen that yet. That would
so like if they have to put down
sick.
US Agent or Flag Smasher or Mephisto, and it's just like, Bucky throws it, does this, it comes back, Falcon catches it, now he does a thing. Like, I think that'd be pretty sweet.
Well, so they're going to practice. They probably both will be pretty good with the shield, I would imagine.
I have one hope for the show.
Okay.
As much as I enjoyed Catherine Hahn, she wasn't exactly the best villain in the world in WandaVision. And they probably should have just stuck with it being the inner turmoil that Wanda was dealing with, and that she's kind of the villain of her own show.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like this show is setting up, with Up Guy and the Flag Smashers, and we still know that Baron Helmut Zemo,
yes,
not Baron, sorry,
Zemo.
is supposed to show up. Hopefully we can sink our teeth into a really good,
bad guy,
intriguing villain.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be evil, but someone that's interesting, and we have potentially 3. So
there's a lot of bad guys in this. Yeah, I guess my only hope is at the end of WandaVision, it changed shit and changed things moving forward. I hope they do the same thing with there's a resolution with them taking the shield, whatever, but more changing of the MCU, this lane moving forward. And this show, I feel like you can definitely have multiple seasons, unlike WandaVision. That's definitely a one-off. I don't think you do that again that way. But this could go on for years.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this one is going to be one that's going to change the entire landscape of the MCU, but it'll definitely be one where we're gonna end this with a new Captain America. It's probably going to lead into a new Avengers storyline.
Yeah.
And we see where it kind of builds the ground level stuff from there as we play around with the multiverse and that shit in the next year or two.
Well, you got Rhodey that'll probably spin off into that Armored Wars show. So a couple more shows will be set up. Good stuff. Okay, listener, if you want some swag, some podcast merch, you want a t-shirt with our awesome new logo, visit our TeePublic shop, jockandnerd.com/shop. We'll get you there, and you could get the new logo, old logo. There is a sale this week, March 24th to 26th. Everything will be up to 35% off. That means $13 t-shirts, $20 phone cases, $30 hoodies. There's masks, there's tumblers, there's mugs, a lot of fun stuff. Get it on sale.
There's a tumbler? Does it come in black?
They always come in black.
Oh.
Drinking tumbler. It does not come in black. It's blue with our logo. jockandnerd.com/shop. Tumbler. And with that, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back to talk about 4 hours of Justice League right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What's up, Jock and Nerd Nation? This is Logan at Mostly Superheroes, a podcast that was partly inspired by the Jock and Nerd podcast. We talk about a lot of the same stuff, MCU, DC heavy, with other content that comes out of HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and more. We're committing to doing something new every day in 2021, so come join the fun, check out the schedule. Find us at mostlysuperheroes.com and enjoy the rest of the show.
It's not just any day. It's Mr. Throwback Thursday.
Hey, this is James.
And this is Bill, and we are the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast.
Do you remember when the wheels were steel and the beats were real?
We do, and we talk about it every Thursday.
You can check out Woo News, One and Done, Record of the Week, and a whole lot more.
That's Mr. Throwback Thursday, keeping it classic on iTunes, Stitcher, and at highvoltageradio.com.
And always remember, new school stale, old school fresh.
Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Listener, if you've been enjoying the show for 6 years or 5 years or 1 year,
Why?
I don't know why, but we appreciate it. And if you really want to be a super fan, show your love and support, join our fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon, where you will get access to an exclusive RSS feed for as little as $3 a month. Bonus content. The shows come out early. This week I put out an instant reaction to this Zack Snyder's Justice League we're going to talk about, and the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Anthony, quiet from you, but you got anything lined up?
I actually do. I didn't know if we were going to do a What Are You Watching, but I will eventually review Wolfwalkers.
Oh, nice.
Which is on Apple Plus, Apple TV Plus, and Another Round, which is now on Hulu and was nominated Best Director, Best International Film nominations. Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
It's a good film.
What was his name in Doctor Strange? He was what was the fucking bad guy's name? Shit.
Master Creepy Eyes.
Yes, Creepy Eyes with the sullen, not Mordo. That was the other guy.
No.
Casillas.
They really wasted him. Casillas, yeah.
Who cares? I'll let Dormammu. I'm here. Well, we're not doing I don't know if we're going to get to What Are We Watching, because I really want to spend time on this Justice League. So that's perfect.
Oh, I can't talk about Frank Grillo's other movies?
Maybe if you work it into the conversation, you figure it out. I do want to share one message we got from Patreon from our supporter and listener, Roberto Rivera.
Our one supporter.
Keeping the lights on.
Roberto is very active in the group, and he's always commenting. And he said, "What's up, guys? Just wanted to say congratulations on 6 years of podcasting. Your podcast has meant a lot to me personally over its lifetime.
Whoa.
From going through big life changes to stressful situations to getting through last year's bullshit. One thing I can always count on is tuning into your podcast, having a good laugh. The best thing about your podcast is the feeling of just hanging out with friends, worry-free, nerding out, and cracking jokes. So thanks for all you guys do. Thanks for the awesome community you've built. And cheers to another 6. Congrats. Nerd. Thank you, Roberto.
Wow.
Can you even imagine another 6 years of this shit?
I don't know. I couldn't imagine the first 6 years. I don't know how the fuck we got here. It just happened.
Just part of our
I tend
life.
not to think about this podcast after I'm done recording it.
I blacked out for like 5.5 years, and now we're here. I don't know. So see you in 6 years. Everyone will be with us. Okay.
It's a blip long.
Yes. We're longer than the blip. We have podcasted longer than the blip was around. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Sign up today, listener. Let's get to Zack Snyder's Justice League. Here is another spoiler alert.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Prepare to be spoiled! Like how I used the Marvel spoiler alert for Zack Snyder's show. I did that on purpose. See? This is, of course, the 4-hour opus of the redo of 2017's Justice League. This version on Rotten Tomatoes is sitting at 73%, 6.8 out of 10 average rating. Audience score 96%. The original 40% on the Rotten Tomatoes. This makes it now one of the highest rated Zack Snyder directed movies. Dawn of the Dead is 1% higher, and it takes the Justice League, which was the 3rd lowest DCU movie, to becoming this one the 4th highest Rotten Tomatoes rated DCEU movie. Before, I want to give a little primer to how we got here, but before we do that, here's the question. How long did it take everyone to watch this fucking thing, Anthony?
I think I started it around, so I took off of work on Thursday, not because of this fucking show.
Yes, you did.
No, definitely did not. I think I started around 3:30 p.m. and I don't think I finished it till like maybe 9:30.
Oh, fuck, one sitting.
One sitting. I did it all in one sitting. Not really all. I mean, yes, I took some breaks and pissed and looked at my phone and did other things, but yeah.
Rugs?
Well, I watched it that Saturday that it came out.
It came out on Thursday.
Well, the Saturday of when it came out.
I see what you're saying.
Wow, what a fucking asshole, Imran.
Did I say the wrong thing? Did I say it wrong?
No, you were perfectly fine. Imran decided he needed to put you down for it.
Oh. I know I'm stupid, but I mean, how stupid can I be? I mean, don't answer that. The Saturday that it came out, I watched it, I think from 10 o'clock, and then I stopped for lunch, and then I finished it. But I stopped maybe for like a half hour and then finished it. So
okay,
nice sandwich for lunch.
Yeah, nice. Salami
sandwich. Let me get a sandwich while I watch this fucking thing. Delhauer, how long?
Salami.
I give you all credit. I actively decided to break it up into two halves over 2 days.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I watched the first, what I considered would have been the first movie.
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
Friday evening, and then Saturday during the day I finished it up.
Yeah, I did. I watched it over 2 days in 3 sittings over Thursday and Friday. Was it a Friday and Saturday? I may have.
It came out on Thursday, Imran.
When did this come out? I may have. I'm an asshole. I may have fallen asleep at some point, and that's why I stopped and I came back. So it was like 2 sittings in one day, and then I came back and finished the Superman stuff on the third day. So it takes
the Superman stuff.
I mean, like the last quarter of the movie.
Specifically, only the Superman stuff.
This is half a work day worth of a movie, so it takes a little bit of a commitment. And I saw
fucking movie.
I saw stories of people watching this 3, 4, 5 times already.
I'm entertaining watching parts again. Yeah,
I've rewatched some parts, but I cannot sit through another 4-hour movie.
No,
anytime soon.
No.
Mm-mm. I think the parts that I have rewatched, I've literally only rewatched by seeing side-by-side comparisons to the theatrical cut on YouTube.
Yeah, that's actually that's made me go back. There's some scenes I did want to relive, but a lot of it's the intrigue of how the hell? Because I haven't revisited JL in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So which one? And then I would watch Whedon's Justice League, and it'd be like, okay, what? I don't want to remember this from that movie. I got to rewatch the movie again. That part of the movie.
Justice League.
I was going to say, Anthony, I love that you accidentally called it Justice League.
That's the official name now.
A lot of people call it that.
So I did go back and watch the action scenes because there's so much going on. Before we get started, real quick timeline. How the fuck did we get here? How did he get to remake a movie from 3 years ago and make it 4 hours? Well, May 2017, during the production of the first Justice League, Zack Snyder steps down following the death of his daughter. Joss Whedon's hired to finish the film, finishing it as an uncredited director, okay? That movie comes out. Then the Snyder Cut fans mobilize. This Snyder Cut movement reaches its heights November 17th, 2019, 2-year anniversary of the theatrical version, where you got Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Ray Fisher all tweeting, release the Snyder Cut. Warner Brothers gives Zack a call February of 2020, him and his wife, Deborah Snyder, who produced, do you want to do this? Of course they want to do this. They needed an additional about $70 million. It might have been more. That's the number to finish visual effects, score it, edit it, and film new shit, which they did in October 2020. During COVID, they spent a year putting the visual effects, finishing this movie, and it is at the end, it's dedicated to the memory of his daughter, Autumn, which is nice. But that is how we got to a new version of this movie. The plot is pretty much the same as the first time. Yeah, can we all agree? Just things happen differently. There are big divergences, but basic plot is the same.
Right.
Yeah, the skeleton is there.
The skeleton is basically the same. Okay, who wants to start? What did you guys?
I could start off here. One thing I want to kind of use as a disclaimer, or I don't know what it is. It's just say it before you start something, right?
That's a disclaimer.
That's a disclaimer.
Okay,
yeah.
So when we're going to watch this movie, there's a lot of baggage that comes with it, right? So because people now have conflated Zack Snyder with everything that's wrong with filmmaking. BVS did not go over well. It bastardized a lot of characters and wasted a lot of moments from classic stories that we love. He misinterpreted Superman in Man of Steel. So, yeah, he's really maligned, but at the same time, he did have a vision. And when we go and look at this movie, and the thing about it is we have to be objective, and not only that there's another movie that they made that the studio thought was going to be better. And when we all saw it, we all kind of thought it was not the greatest. We were all like, I'm curious to see what Zack Snyder did. I feel like there's a lot of people who don't want to like this movie and don't want to give it its due that it is better than what the studio decided. I think it's a win in a way because fans made this happen.
The fans.
But there's a lot of baggage that comes with all of this. And so we have to kind of acknowledge it, and I'm going to do my best to be objective as possible.
Does it affect your entertainment of the movie? Yes, then I guess the baggage.
Yeah. I think that there's people who don't want who hate Batman versus Superman so much they can't judge this film on its own. And I mean, it's meant to be part of the series, right? But
I mean, it's the completion of his trilogy. All right, with all that said, Bugs, did you like it?
I think it's clearly a huge improvement over what Joss Whedon did. It makes more. I mean, first of all, the bad guy, all right, Steppenwolf is better, way better, way more menacing, and the stakes are higher. And then you have Cyborg, who actually has a full. I mean, actually, a lot of people get full arcs where he has a problem with his father, and he kind of at the end of the movie starts to, and his father sacrifices himself, and he has to reconcile who he is as a person. And whether he wants to be a hero, like he has a hero's arc in this, and Batman becomes a mentor and kind of tries to make amends for how he kind of was hated Superman and didn't understand that there was stuff bigger than him out there, and everybody got an arc, and so like just in those simple story things. It worked better than Justice League because Justice League was like a Frankenstein, and none of those beats hit. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, you guys go ahead. I don't want to say everything.
Delhauer, when this movie was done, where was your head?
No, I 100% agree with Rug Boy. I was absolutely someone who came into the entire concept of the Snyder cut coming out where I was rolling my eyes and going, look, I don't fucking care what his vision was. I did hate Batman versus Superman. I did not enjoy Man of Steel at all. So to then essentially be like, well, what was he going to do with it? My attitude was probably nothing I was going to care to like. And I am pleasantly surprised with how much I actually really enjoyed this.
Wow.
It's another one of those instances where like a what the fuck happened, I came into it with the idea of, all right, this is going to be a fucking slog. Yep. I'm going to hate everything that's going on here. And I got about 20-30 minutes into the movie and I was like, holy shit, am I enjoying this? And I was. And I think for me, doing the way that I went about it, where I cut it into two halves, was another way that really kind of helped me enjoy it even more, because I didn't burn myself out on trying to watch this 4-hour movie. And it allowed me to then look at it in a form of, there was a point where they initially planned on doing Justice League Part 1 and Part 2 when they announced they were going to do the movie. Now, apparently word has come out that this was not going to be both parts with what we've seen here. This was going to be Part 1.
Still one, yeah.
There's going to be 3.
Yeah, then there was going to be 3 movies.
But if they had then decided instead to make it the first 2+ hours of this was Part 1, and then we had Part 2 being the back half of this, I think it would have done very well.
I agree. It's clearly 2 movies there that you could have had.
I don't think this was actually that. I think what we saw was
no,
one
and it
part
is.
of the
it
movie.
is. I mean, from my point of view, if you wanted to, you could have cut this into 2 movies. You could have released it as Part 1 and Part 2 and done a great job of being able to pull that off. I think the other aspect, as Rug Boy was talking about, where you have to take into account a lot of the baggage and a lot of where we are with this film, I don't think I would have enjoyed this movie as much as I did if I hadn't seen the theatrical version of Justice League.
That's a good point also.
And I don't think this movie would have been praised nearly as much as it is right now if this was the movie that originally got released.
Well, I think that you can't, Zack Snyder can't escape what he did to our superheroes.
Yeah.
He can't. I mean, he fucked them up. And, there's some people who really like this version that like this darker tone and whatever. And I'm not really against those people because I kind of enjoy parts of this. I even in Batman versus Superman, I enjoy that scene of Batman just taking everybody to town.
The warehouse scene,
yeah. I feel like I love that scene, even though it's super hyper violent. I feel like, hey, why not? It's Batman,
and
that's what he does.
Even on that same vein, the opening of Batman vs. Superman with him rushing into Metropolis during the final bit of Man of Steel was actually very well done, and I thought was a very interesting way of looking into that aspect of the story, where we got to see the Dragon Ball Z fight. Now we're watching all the assholes who were, scrambling on the ground during it.
Yeah. Anthony, did Snyder make you like a movie that you didn't like the first time?
Wow. I'm going to start off by saying that out of the three of us, I don't know about, I think I'm probably on the same level as Delhauer, maybe even more. I fucking hate Zack Snyder in terms of the decisions he makes, about the things he does in his movies. I hated BVS. I was not that big a fan of Man of Steel. Justice League was its own problem, but I did not like the path he had us on. I did not like the journey that we were on. I still don't forgive him for a lot of the things he did in Batman vs. Superman. That being said, this is the best thing he's done since 300.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But I do agree that you can't watch this movie and not compare it to what we got before. So, although I think it's a good movie, I think the comparison to Justice League also bumps it up a few notches, just because
you see how bad it could have been.
Yeah, we saw the worst,
the absolute worst.
So now we got much better. I will say that I have a lot of criticisms of Snyder that I can get into later, but I think why this movie worked for me is because although it's fucking unreleasable at 4 hours.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be this long.
Yeah,
you can't. There's no way that this can be. There's no way that this would ever have gotten approved with the way movie theaters run to be 4 hours. So let's just throw that out there. He was able to do that on a streaming platform, but I think the reason why this movie works for me for the most part is because Snyder focused a lot on character, which ended up working to his favor, and he didn't take any risks or like assassinate any characters like he's done in previous films.
Yeah.
He basically played it safe, and it was good guys form a team to fight evil threat fighting the universe. And when he stuck to that, which is basically what this entire movie is, he could focus on the visuals and he could focus on like the cool action scenes, and nothing was offensive. So with that being said, I'll eat crow. I wasn't anticipating this movie. I actually was like kind of dreading it, similar to Delhauer, but I'll give him credit. He made a solid film in the 4 hours that I had to sit there and fucking watch a 4-hour movie.
Now, do you think it needed to be 4 hours?
No. But like it could have been like an Infinity War Endgame style 2-part thing.
No, there's not enough. I don't think there's enough there in this 4-hour to film to make two separate movies.
It needs a better
I will disagree at one point.
I disagree too. The Superman shit is the second movie. The part where they lose and then before they bring him back, that's the second movie.
There's an article or a video I saw where Justice League 2 was something completely different.
It's not 2. It's part 1 and 2 of Justice League 1.
What I would think is there is enough here that you could release 2 90-minute to 2-hour movies.
Yes.
You don't honestly have to, because there's also enough here that you could shave this down to being like a little over 3-hour movie in the vein of something like Endgame. And then at which point you get to do Zack Snyder's favorite thing, and you release the Ultimate Edition Blu-ray, which is 4 fucking hours long.
Well, it's also 4 hours because each movie he loves to set up like 5 other fucking movies that are never going to happen. My opening thoughts, I kind of agree with all of you. I didn't think I was going to dig it, but I fucking dug this. I had a good time. There is lots of exposition in the dialogue, but things are explained better. The mother boxes make more sense. The relationship Steppenwolf has to these boxes that he has to decide, all that makes sense. It is super ambitious and super indulgent, the most Zack Snyder-y thing you're going to see, but it's amazing to see what happens when Warner Brothers, when a movie studio gets out of the way and says, just do what you want.
Yeah, I mean, and you could see the talent that Zack Snyder has in some of the action sequences.
There's some fucking sick shots in here.
And the way he edited it together with the music, I think that it hit better. I felt it had more impact.
The music, Junkie XL redid the score entirely. And I think the music did help the movie. The score was way better.
I absolutely agree.
The slow songs, the pop songs, whatever.
Especially,
That's the Zack Snyder thing.
There's one thing with the music that they changed, luckily, and that really fixed something that pissed me off so much with the theatrical version. There is a moment in the theatrical version when they bring Superman back and then he's fighting the entire team.
Right.
The whole bit where he is trying to fight Barry Allen at the speed of the Speed Force.
In the Speed Force, yes.
And there is a moment in the theatrical cut where he's about to punch Barry in the face and misses and punches the wall of his own memorial. And they play the little Superman stinger from the fucking Chris Reeves movie.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, he punches the wall and immediately it's just da. And I thought to myself, why are you doing that? This is not a heroic moment in any way.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, Elfman reused that theme too much in that. I mean,
I didn't think it was a terrible idea, but like I just think that it does cough up memories of other movies, and there's no reason to do that in a brand new movie that you've redone a new Superman theme. You're going to use that theme, obviously.
Yeah.
And Man of Steel.
I did enjoy the use of especially like the Man of Steel theme.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a really good theme that Hans Zimmer made for that movie. That movie's not great, but the reuse of it, like when Superman reappears and he's fighting Steppenwolf, is really good. I think for the most part the musical choices were good. There are still some curious Zack Snyder choices where he's playing songs and you're like, this is really dramatic.
He loves
One of the notes that I made while I was watching it is I said, no wonder this movie is 4 fucking hours if every character gets to walk in slow motion to their own soft guitar song.
That's my one. So my two still issues I have with Zack Snyder's overall filmmaking. One is, Zack, if everything is slow motion means nothing. There, you want it to mean something.
The movie starts out with Superman dying.
Literally, the first thing I wrote was I said, we're going with a very Snyder opening to this film.
It's the 3D revolve.
Oh, yeah, and they stretched that out for like a really long time.
Why are we watching Vic plays football in fucking slow motion? What is the point of this?
The most useless one for me was when Aquaman is walking on the deck and he's drinking the whiskey in slow motion and taking off his shirt.
The unbelievably homoerotic shot of him walking into the waves.
That was it.
And then you get a shot of him tossing his sweater. The Icelandic girl picks up his sweater, sniffs his sweater, and then they go and get into.
Why are they singing?
The other note that I wrote was he goes walking away. They all start singing some like Icelandic like folk song. He disappears into the ocean. Bruce walks away off in the other direction. We stay on them for another minute and 30 seconds while they sing, and then she picks up the sweater, and I'm like, God damn it, Zach, if our characters are not in the scene anymore, neither are we.
Move on.
They should have just done the Wellerman sea shanty in that scene.
But those are like, I don't want to criticize him too much because I feel like I've done that throughout the 6 years of this podcast, and I feel like I should give him credit where it's due. But I will say, like, those are the things where, like, this 4-hour format is just Zack Snyder unhinged, and when you get Snyder unhinged, you're going to get slow-mo, you're going to get curious song choices, you're going to get lingering shots, and you're going to get a lot of metal, because Zack Snyder just loves metal. Everything is metal. Like, and I'm talking not even like metal, the metal aesthetic, but just like that vibe of that like rock, everything's crazy.
When they're heading down into the sewers under Gotham to go do their first big fight with Steppenwolf, and it's just that like guitar riff.
We're walking upstairs. It's like they do the same thing in the Godzilla movie in Shin Godzilla when everybody's like going to work and they're playing the rock that rock theme. That's what it reminded me of. I'm like, is Hideaki Anno?
I also thought to myself, in the shot of them slowly trudging up the staircase in single file, I was like, Barry Allen must be losing his fucking mind right now.
He's like, let's go already, people. It's taking so long. What do we want to talk about? Characters, individuals, different things?
I got a couple things.
Okay, start it up.
So I had some problems, and so I figured let's talk about some of them. All right. So like I feel like, okay, Superman dying being 6 minutes long, but then no aftermath of him dying. And even though we had that in the movie prior where they had the funeral and all that stuff, I feel like it needed a bookend. in this movie or begin
like
with
showing
that.
people mourning for
like
him or
just
something.
because there's a detachment from the world in this movie, like the actual world. Like the one time that you see any reaction is when Wonder Woman sees that the fucking Amazonian temple's on fire, and then the people in the museum seeing it on the news. You don't really get to see people's reactions. Like the only people that actually see that this is going on are the people that they're rescuing when Steppenwolf has them as hostages, right? He's kind of fucking.
When he's interrogating them. Yes,
he's interrogating.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for.
The little spider robots.
So I would have liked number one, like an acknowledgement of the Superman's death, except for that one flag that they had, and kind of like more of something that touches the regular people out there, the public, the masses that are, that kind of make it feel like we could see it through their eyes a little bit. So I felt like that was missing.
You had Lois visiting his memorial like every day with the coffee.
Yeah.
That was kind of the thing for, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, but I guess that worked. Does it work for you guys?
I think I do understand what you mean with that, Ruggs. I honestly felt that a lot of the stuff that they built with Lois and Martha away from when Superman comes back really felt pointless.
Yes. You could get rid of all of that, most of it.
And especially since the Martian Manhunter is the mother.
Yeah, it was.
I hated that.
What was the point of that?
That was a scene that I felt you could have cut right when she left out the door, and that's fine.
Yeah, they should do that.
Entirely undercut any sort of emotion in that scene by doing that.
It did, because it wasn't Ma Kent.
And the better cameo is actually him at the end. If you're going to choose, you do one cameo. You don't
do it
the
twice.
Two.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, that was a dumb choice.
Touching conversation, and it wasn't even with fucking Ma Kent.
But that's typical. I hate to bash. That's typical. He's just he never nothing less is never more.
Well, and that's another
aspect
enough? Of what I think is part of the issue I have here, and even away from that, because I will say my piece about Zack Snyder when we get towards the end about, a lot of stuff that's in this. But one of the issues that I did have with this was because of the way that this was edited together. I never once understood what the hell the timeline of this movie is.
Yeah, because he doesn't have establishing shots. He jumps around in time, and you don't know where or when.
We have 6 minutes of Superman dying in the beginning to also establish A, where are the mother boxes, and B, they're all reacting to him dying. Right after that, in the midst of that, they show the one that's on Themyscira cracking, and somebody turns and makes a comment about get the Queen. We then go and watch Batman go and talk to Arthur Curry. We then watch Wonder Woman go and save the people in the bank, which is another thing I want to touch on later. And then we come back later on, and now she's coming to check on the mother box that's on Themyscira. They call for her to come and see this mother box breaking open at the beginning, and then we go through 5 other scenes before we get to her.
Did you see the scene where they shot the arrow? That took like 20 minutes.
It also did. Another moment where I thought to myself,
yes, like the Amazons tend to do things slow, I guess.
They live on Paradise Island. Everything
They're
is
like,
at
listen,
their
we
own
got to
pace.
decorate the room first. Make sure the lighting's right.
You gotta light all these candles.
Now we can do it.
There's 4,000 candles to light.
Wait a minute.
Take some
Everybody,
time.
we said we're all wearing hoods. Why are you not wearing your hood? Go get your hood. Come on, we have to coordinate.
Go get your hood.
Speaking of Hippolyta, there was a moment that bugged me when Steppenwolf comes and she gets the mother box and she's trying to get away, right? She grabs the mother box and instead of just running, she does like a backflip off the wall, kills a parademon, and then there's a moment in the middle of this fight where Steppenwolf is right there trying to get the mother box where she stops to aid a fallen hero. And I'm like, fucking run, lady. You have the mother box. And then even when she gets out, she stops again. I was like, what are you doing waiting around?
It's confusing in the fact that they really push to play on the idea that, like, oh, you can tell how much it's weighing on her that her people are dying protecting this mother box. Except that aren't the Amazonians like a race of warrior women who, like, dying in battle is the greatest
thing
glory?
They do. They'll be fine. Just get the fuck out of there. The abs on these women. Where did he find women with so many women with amazing abs? I don't know. It was unbelievable.
I don't know. The internet?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything bad.
No,
about
I
that.
did love.
Anthony likes it.
Did I say something bad?
I love when she was like, daughters of Themyscira, show them your fear. And they're all like, we have no fear. And they jump in. I was like, that's badass. The fucking badass.
I laughed. The note that I wrote was, this is a stupid line, but it's the kind of stupid line that would be in a DC comic.
A lot of it was like a DC comic. And the parademons don't smell fear anymore. They changed that.
No, it does it. That scene with Batman and the parademons.
They smell
exist,
box.
Yeah. They smell
mother box.
Oh, they smell mother box.
Also, to just kind of touch on with getting rid of that scene from the beginning with him and the cat burglar, I completely forgot until I went back and I was looking into it after watching this that scene led to Batman understanding what the mother
because
boxes
they explode.
because he shot a parademon and it blew up and its blood made 3 boxes on the
it's very
wall.
convenient when your blood creates a map for Batman to figure out. Lame.
And that was how he knew what was going on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Joss Whedon being so terrible makes Zack Snyder look like a genius by comparison. Like, that is so terrible.
So bad. Wow.
I don't want to. I will say this about Joss Whedon. I feel like he also had an impossible job because he was brought in 7/8 of the way through, 9/10, whatever you want to call it, of a film that was going in one tone, and then he's being told, "Hey, take what Snyder made and make it Avengers." Oh, okay.
But I still can't fathom, like, I can understand adding some jokes and, like, maybe taking off the death toll, like, not so many people dying.
Mm-hmm.
But why can't the parademons look for the mother boxes? Why do they have to smell fear and kill the bad, Steppenwolf?
Yeah, they turn
That's
on him
stupid.
at the end, which is dumb also.
It's dumb.
Also, why are they already on Earth?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What did you guys think? I mean, I think Steppenwolf definitely is an improvement over the video game character we got. I do.
They upgraded to PlayStation 4.
Yeah, 5 even.
He still doesn't look amazing, but I will give them a pass because they probably. I mean, they had to redo everything in this time frame.
I think that the only trouble I had with his design, and honestly just the aliens in general, was they were all just like this muted gray color, and that was it.
Oh, you mean just the aliens? I think
everybody.
Well,
I
don't think you could tell what color Mira's hair is. It's supposed to be red.
No, it's black.
Well, I mean, I get that the color grading was set back to being dark and everything again, but I mean, literally all of the aliens were gray skin, gray armor. A little bit of shiny metal here and there, but it was like, other than the fact that like people's eyes glowed, it was just like, I got another shadows or whatever.
Yeah, I did. I love
the cannon fodder.
The spikes on his suit moving are cool, and then I do like how we learn that he's just like this middle management dude who's trying to impress Darkseid. He's a pariah back home.
I think he attempted a coup.
He attempted a coup on Darkseid, and now he owes him 150,000 worlds or something.
His character at least has now some motivation, whereas the other one was like just dedicated to Mother and was just evil for the sake of evil.
For no reason, take over the world. I thought that the communication thing, the molten wall phone thing, projection was that looked sick, dude. That was really cool looking.
Here's a question, though. If Darkseid personally was on Earth with the mother boxes in the flashback during that big fight when all the Age of Heroes came together.
Yes.
And then he lost and he ran away. Why does he not remember that was the planet he lost the mother boxes on?
No, I couldn't ever figure out why he never came back.
That was one of the things. Not only that, but he didn't know that the anti-life equation was on that planet either.
That's a good point. What did he already fucking know?
No, the anti-life thing, Steppenwolf figured that out.
I was going to say, did they ever explain how he figured it out?
No,
I don't remember.
The 2 boxes told him. He was standing in front of the thing, and he's like, "Yes, what is it?" And he sticks his hand, and then it shows him the anti-life equation.
Okay, that's good enough. I forgot that part.
I'm trying to steer this in a way that we don't bash the entire movie, even though we all liked it. That scene with Darkseid and the
Age of Heroes. Let's talk about that. It's dope.
I thought that was pretty fucking awesome.
I watched that over and over again.
That was one of the scenes I ended up rewatching. I mean, it's just completely. It's not like
insane.
It's the same scene, except Steppenwolf subbed out for Darkseid. It's a lot longer. It's a little bit more brutal.
Yeah,
Ares is in this.
Bloodier.
What's that?
Yes, Ares.
Yeah, you get to see Ares. You get to see
Zeus. Is cool.
Zeus was in it before, but you just get to see more of like the race of man, like the Atlanteans, the Amazons, the new gods, or the old
I
gods.
also just liked the little tidbit. I don't remember if this was in the original one or not, but when the Green Lantern dies and the ring flies up, it flies up and it stops for a moment in front of Darkseid, and he goes to try and grab it, and then it flies away.
That's different. So in the Justice League, Steppenwolf looks at it and it just flies away and he doesn't give a fuck.
That was sick.
Darkseid tries to grab it.
Darkseid almost had it. I like how they explained the whole backstory of the mother boxes and the Unity. And this is where people are saying it reminds them of Lord of the Rings. It's a little bit the opening of the Fellowship of the Ring where Sauron loses in that flashback. It reminded me a lot of this, but that fucking scene, I could see myself going back to watch over and over again.
It's fun. It's a good scene.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a good scene within a 4-hour movie. But, you know, as with everything in the movie, he draws it out as long as possible. But it was good. He did a
That's
good
what
job.
I want him to draw out scenes. Like, that's what I want to see, Zach.
Also, I like with the fight against Superman when they resurrect him.
Yes.
There is so many little bits and pieces that are extended out throughout that whole thing.
No Pet Cemetery joke.
Yes.
No. There's no Pet Cemetery joke. There's no moment when Flash is like, oh, do we bow or show him our bellies?
So dumb.
But even
jokes.
just like
brutal.
little things like when Aquaman and Wonder Woman and Cyborg all jump in at the same time to get him, and they hold just a little longer as they rotate the camera around him.
Yeah.
And then show Flash off in the background. Now, these are things that, like, they cut down in the theatrical version, and I get why. But I like how much more we are spending time in these moments because it is building more tension in the event.
I like that Lois sees this going down because she sees Superman fly up in the air.
This is a big change.
And then she decides to go there
on her own volition.
And try and stop Superman. So she's not like this ace in the hole that Batman is.
That she wasn't the thing. And then I love how they just fuck off and cool off at the farm. Was that where he headbutts Wonder Woman into the ground? That was
Yes.
That was in it. It just, they drew it out a little bit more. So the scene where Flash runs into Aquaman, that wasn't there.
Oh, that wasn't there, right? He trips up. Right.
They took out a lot of the jokes where Aquaman's in Justice League was like, he's not all right. They take out a lot of like the stuff that makes Aquaman like more bro-y surf boy, and he's a lot more like downtrodden and like a little bit more like humble and like actually like supportive of everyone.
I like it. He's less bro-y.
Yeah, the thing that I wrote was, I like only vaguely surfer Aquaman.
Yeah, it works really good in this. And
like his character, I rewatched it in the first movie.
Yeah,
like he does not trust Cyborg at all. He's like, you're on the other side.
Yeah.
In this movie, he's actually like, when him and Flash have a conversation, he kind of admits that he feels bad for Cyborg and he wants to like help him. It's like a completely different guy.
That's a great line.
Even just that little moment when he's talking with Barry and he's just like, how's he doing about Victor? And he's like, well, how do you think he's doing, man?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I get it. Because I think one of the things that I really like about the way they characterize all of these heroes and what you can really feel in this extended run is these are all people who not only feel like they are loners, but have felt like no one could ever possibly understand the life I live.
Yeah.
And as they start to meet each other and they see that they all suffer in that same way, that's how they bond.
Yeah.
It's not because we have to do it because the world's going to be destroyed. It's, I've legitimately found kinship among people for the first time.
There's an extra line in there where Flash is basically like, I thought you didn't care. And Aquaman just goes, I never said that.
I never said that.
And I like, we've seen Avengers and we all like Avengers, but Joss Whedon's whole thing was we put these guys together and they're like a ticking time bomb. They're going to fight with each other.
Yeah, they will never get along.
Right. Whereas they did that. They tried to do that with Justice League. It didn't work. This one, they went the different route where other than like initial skepticism, they all kind of get along. They all actually like each other.
I think
says they want to work together. Like they want to figure it out.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite little and it's a cute quippy moment was when they're trying to sneak back into Star Labs so they can get to the ship to resurrect Superman.
Yes, where he sees his dad.
And Barry's in the cab of the truck, and he says to Aquaman, which one do you think makes me look more, professional? And he's trying hats on. He's like, A or B? And then there's just a moment, and then Aquaman goes, let me see A again. And I'm like, that's fucking great. Yeah. That's such a great moment.
I didn't mind this Barry Allen as much as I did before.
He's still funny.
Yeah.
But he's like just toned down enough and is like enough comic relief where he fits into Snyder's universe, but doesn't stick out like a sore
And he gets
thumb.
to save people.
Well,
he saves the day.
He saves the day.
He
The
reverses time.
Absolutely.
The big
He has
change.
that great scene with the music.
The big change
That's a
is
great fucking scene.
at the end.
At the end, oh yeah, because that scene actually like subverts your expectations. You think he's running around in a circle and he's gonna fucking figure like he's the cherry on top, and then it doesn't
work. Yeah,
and you're literally like, what is gonna happen now?
The only thing I don't like about that scene is that stupid guy just takes him out with the cannon. Like he's running at the speed of beyond light. How's he gonna hit him?
That one parademon
like he's like
was
the best shot
watching
on
him.
earth.
I was gonna say, I love the fact that they do kind of establish that they cut back to him a few times where it's like this parademon is doing everything in his power to try and like find a rhythm.
He was tracking him. Yes, he was like tracking
all
the
right,
spins.
and he's
like,
there,
boom.
and he's there,
and then he hit him. Yeah,
and he's
so
there,
he finally
and
got
bam.
him. Yeah. Another big change is the whole thing where Batman's like save one person, like Barry doesn't know what to do, and that's so great because he stands up on his own and he fucking saves the day.
They took out the whole thing that where Flash has never done this before and he doesn't know what he's doing and he's like scared of the whole situation. They took that all out. He's still like a little bit hesitant, but he's
he
a lot
saved
more,
Iris.
Yeah,
he saved Iris earlier.
But he's been a hero. Like he wants to do this. He wants to be a part of the team.
He's been helping people on the slide. What did you guys think of the saving Iris scene?
It's long.
It's unnecessarily long.
I will say, out of any of the people in the Justice League that I would be perfectly fine with the Zack Snyder, everything is in slow motion, it's Flash.
Of course.
Because that is his thing. He moves faster than
Why
everybody
can't
else.
they make him run looking cool? Like, why does it look like he's ice skating?
He still runs like an asshole. That's Ezra Miller. I don't know why you run
also
like
had
that.
him like grabbing like a hot dog or something. in that scene.
I thought that scene was so. I really love that scene. Even the music, it was so beautiful, poetic. He puts the wiener in his pocket, and you're like, "What is he doing?"
I did laugh because while he was doing he was like looking at her and everything, and then he takes the hot dog and he puts it in his pocket. I wrote a note that was like, "Yeah, why not steal some street meat while you're creeping on a woman who's about to die?"
He's saving her life.
Well, and then we find out he needed the wiener to get the job at the doggy daycare. Here's the thing you could have cut out, Zack Snyder. Do you really need a close-up shot of a 3D sesame seed falling off of a bun inside the cabin? Is this necessary? No.
Oh, yeah. I mean, less is never more.
But aside from that, I thought that scene was beautiful, and that is good use of slow-mo.
Literally, I think the thing that in that scene, that when it happened, I was like, I never would have thought of this, and I think it's such a great idea, was showing him turning so quickly to look outside the window that his shoes explode from around his feet.
I like that he bursts out of his shoes. That was great. I don't know why he didn't vibrate through the window. He just crashed through the window. Maybe he doesn't know
how to do that.
He doesn't. I still think Bruce's line where he's like, "What's your superpower?" and he goes, "I'm rich." That's still fucking funny. That's a Snyder line. I thought that would have been a Whedon joke.
I honestly thought the same thing. I thought that was a Whedon joke,
but it's still a great line.
I think most of the characters are improved by the length of time, like Cyborg, Aquaman, Flash. There's only like two characters for me that didn't really get much more to do.
Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman is basically exposition dump.
Yeah.
He still doesn't know what the fuck really to do with Lois Lane. She kind of like wanders around throughout the movie. I know she like saves the situation, but her character is really never interesting. She's just there as a device for Superman to leave.
Yeah, literally her entire job in this movie is to mourn the death of her fiance.
She's never really been interesting.
I think she gets
throughout the entire
pregnant
film.
in this one.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into that. But she's the key. Okay, let's talk about Cyborg. Perhaps the most heinous sidelining of a character in the Whedon version.
Well, Joss Whedon and Ray Fisher probably will never exchange Christmas cards. That's for sure.
And if you follow the news stories, you know that they are not friends. But fuck, I thought aside from the weird CGI on his face that bugged me, I thought Ray Fisher, the whole storyline, he's such an important part of this movie. And Silas Stone, Joe Morton from Terminator 2 was another great bit of heart in this movie. And seeing the relationship, seeing him become cyborg and walk, and he's got this mind space. It was crazy.
I love that that his dad did that recording and told him about his powers, and the whole audience goes, "Oh, this motherfucker can do anything."
And then you get a great thing of him learning his powers, which I always love to see. And
I really enjoyed him when the way they project him in the universe, like when he's like learning about his powers. It's like him as a normal person walking around in
the
his
mind
own
place.
mind.
Yeah,
I liked that a lot.
That way he can show up without a bunch of shit on his face, and it's easier to make.
I will say, one of the things I agree 100% that he was completely shafted in the theatrical version. I love the fact that not only does he get so much more time, that he gets to really fill out the character. He gets to say one of the few fucks in this movie, so good on him.
And Bruce. Wait, when did he say fuck?
When he first meets with Diana. And she's like, we're putting together a team to save the world. And he goes, fuck the world.
Oh, I also like how he reached out to her, hacked, instead of the other way around.
Oh, yeah.
She had found him in the first movie. This one, he finds her.
I only had one minor criticism. It's not even of his character, but his father.
Yeah.
When his dad turns on the microwave.
Yeah, when he sacrifices himself.
Why did he need to go inside the microwave to turn it on?
There's a button. I guess you could have hit the button from the outside, I guess.
Oh, is that what it was? There was a button inside?
Because ever since Watchmen, Zack Snyder has loved the effect of having someone explode into ash.
Yeah.
Well, and I love that he sacrificed himself to tag the box for them, and they explain how he got
Zack
the box.
Snyder loves to kill dads for no reason.
Yes, he loves to kill dads,
Pa Kent,
moms.
no reason for him to die.
Well, now that's not true. He had to die so that Superman could learn to not save people.
The thing is, Pa Kent dies, but not like that. That's not, that kind of changes everything, Zack Snyder.
I digress. Cyborg was a much better character.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So much better. I loved seeing his full face cover when he's flying. We didn't get to see that. That's kind of a cool Easter egg.
I have one nitpick about it that I was going to save until later, because it's also a nitpick about kind of the Zack Snyder ethos of superheroes in general as well. But I'm going to say it now, because if I wait until later, I'm going to forget
Say it.
I think one of the few things that really kind of irks me about the way that he approaches superheroes, and especially in DC, and according, Superman and everybody, and they do it with Cyborg as well, is while he's learning how to use his powers and he's listening to the recording from his father describes his powers essentially as, you have the ability to access absolutely anything through the net.
Yeah.
No firewall can stop you. No one can ever not be hacked by you. You could launch absolutely every nuclear warhead in a blink of an eye if you decided you wanted to. But fighting that temptation is what will make you a hero. And I find that to be bullshit. Because I feel like looking at all the bad shit you don't do with your power as what makes you a hero, rather than all the good shit you could do with the power that you have at your fingertips, is the bleakest and most fucking cynical way of looking at superheroes. And I think that is the problem, is that because he started at Watchmen, he has never not looked at it that way.
Well, it's in line with what Pa Kent told fucking Clark. Don't help anybody. It's not worth it.
Well, I can bash Snyder here. I mean, he doesn't really even understand Watchmen. There's a quote from him that came out where it was like, there's comics that have sex and violence, and he's referring to Watchmen. He's like, this is the kind of stuff I like. And it's like,
he doesn't get it.
You don't understand the point of Watchmen, do you?
I mean, so many parts of that book are literally just full-on prose novels.
Yeah.
You think he read that shit?
He's trying to put the comics medium into the wrong medium for that story.
I think that what he does is that, look, for years, Batman he went through a bunch of different changes, and at a certain point, they tried to ground Batman in some kind of psychological reality, right? Like they say, okay, psychologically, this guy's got to be insane, all right? Because he is a millionaire, and he could easily solve a lot of problems with his money, but maybe he does that, but he's also got a thirst for fucking violence. He wants to help people, but in reality wise, you don't just punch somebody and they just go down and they stay down. You have to incapacitate them and almost kill them to get them to stop attacking you. I mean, I just watched a fucking spring break fight on fucking on fucking Twitter that took 20 minutes.
Shit is brutal.
How's Batman gonna get? He's got to take people down. So when you start putting the reality of stuff, it does become cynical, because that's the reality of if you're going to actually fight crime and you're going to stop people using your fisticuffs the way he does. Yeah, there's going to be injuries. He's going to be. How long before you become inhuman? How long does policemen right now before they start bending the law and becoming corrupt? by the power that they have. So I think that it may be the bleakest way of looking at it, but it's also, I think it has a lot of reality to it. And that's what makes us very uncomfortable with it. Do I think that it fits most of the characters? No, like Superman doesn't need to be that. Cyborg might have to go through some kind of weird shit, obviously. Wonder Woman would probably be more optimistic since she's fucking immortal and she's seen everything else. And I think the Flash would probably be optimistic, but I don't think Batman would be. I just don't think he would be as optimistic.
And that's perfectly fine. And I appreciate the fact that what he has done with Batman is essentially put him at a point where he is cynical and old and gone through all of it. And it's by being in contact with someone like Superman and Wonder Woman and putting this team together and finding a higher purpose than just crippling muggers.
Yeah.
That he has found what it means to truly be a hero. But to start off with a character like Cyborg, I mean, granted, at the same time, it's even seconds later, we then see that he is given the power that, yeah, he could fuck with the financial system of the entire world if he wanted to, and he decides the best way to do that is he gives $100,000 to a poor family in his neighborhood.
That was great. The ATM
awesome.
scene was
And
great.
that is great.
Yeah.
It's the way that we move on from there and we show what it is that he chooses to do with his ability. It shows a lot of character for him.
Yeah.
But it feels like there is a lot coming in from the outside in the way that his father presents to him. What I have done and what I have given you is the ability to be the greatest fucking monster in the world.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of touches on my larger point of, although I really enjoyed this movie, we still didn't need BVS to get there. Like, BVS still is such a bad movie for me that, like, it still kind of taints the whole thing. And reason being is I get the approach of like viewing this from a realistic standpoint, but when you view it at that realistic standpoint and you get away from what the core of the character is, that's where it, for me, it crosses the line. And for that, like, I know there's certain interpretations of Batman killing people, but his number one rule for most of that character is to never kill people,
right,
because it happened to him when he was a kid, and he never wants to have that pain thrust upon anyone.
It would just be an impossibility, though.
It'd be impossible, but then you're getting away from the character. Like, the character at the end of the day, then don't approach it from this is super realistic, hyper real. Like, that approach then takes away from what the character was.
Look, I think that's why The Punisher was written as a kind of commentary on Batman, because this idea is kind of like a paradox. You know, it doesn't make sense. It's an oxymoron. You know, it kind of cancels itself out.
Yeah.
Like, so it is a difficult thing to do. The thing about it is that Batman versus Superman not only made him a guy that beat people up and hurt people and possibly killed a bunch of guys during that car chase.
He killed a lot of guys.
But that wanted to kill Superman, that wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
That didn't have any kind of ability to kind of go, hey, we can use this guy, or this guy might have something good to do. And, like, that's the rationale that I can't stand about. Not the fact that he might be violent in fighting people. That doesn't bother me. Him dropping the F-bomb in this movie. Oh, Batman would never use that bad language. Think about the world he's in. He's in Apocalypse's world where Superman is killing people.
He's going to swear.
You think that dropping the F-bomb is like a pearl-clutching moment?
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Who is
like, wake
upset
up,
by
dude.
that?
And trust me, I will freaking kill you. No, that doesn't fit.
I do enjoy how they made Bruce a stoic leader, and Ben Affleck clearly not as bored as he is in the other movie. He's way more alert here. Now,
no, his character progression to the point where he's like much more optimistic.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah, it works.
I just don't think we needed to swim through all that garbage to get here.
Yeah, he really tainted the character.
It's very rough to start at a spot where you're trying to approach these characters and these concepts from a deeply grounded, realistic setting, and then you move on to Justice League, where now aliens from another world are coming here to collect these magic boxes so that they could try and take over our planet. Oh, well, I can't wait for the really gritty, grounded version of this.
Right. Like you have a scene where Aquaman's surfing a parademon through a building. Like, okay, why did you approach this from a realistic perspective if that's what you were going to get to.
It's badass, Alfred. He still had a couple of badasses and all rights. Okay, look, there's so much to talk about. We haven't even fucking gotten to the ending and the epilogue, and I want to get into what his plans were for Justice League 2 and 3 because they're crazy.
We haven't really actually talked about the end fight.
Let's start there. That's what I'm talking about. The third act is technically the same, but wildly different at the same time. We're more violent. You see things like one of my favorite moves in this third act. Like the plan makes more sense, but Batman in the Batmobile when he gets hit and he flips out of the ejector seat with the grappling hook down into fighting parademons was fucking badass.
Geek boner.
Him using parademon guns and the fucking the big weapon. Okay, I fucking love that. I don't know. He looked badass in that.
It's just cut much better. Like the first time you see it when in Justice League, it's just there's not a lot of rhythm to it. Like there's stops and starts. This is much better. Like there's a flow.
Yeah.
Everyone from the start is working together. You right away. Batman says, "Stick to the plan."
Teamwork.
They all know what they're doing.
Better.
They all know what they have to do, and it flows just much better than Justice League, the theatrical version, where there's awkward comedy and there's weird cuts back to saving people.
And then Superman's flying a building around for some reason in the background.
Well, yes, in the Joss cut with the idea of we put in this entire storyline about this Russian family and Barry has to go save them because he doesn't think he's a hero and doesn't think he can do anything. And finally he saves the family. And then we immediately just put his ass out in front of the entire world by then having Superman be like, I saved an entire building of people. It's like, well, then why the fuck did we decide this needed to be Barry's character arc?
There's this amazing shot where you see Batman and the whole team, and it freezes, and it's one of these Zack Snyder freeze frame splash pages, and it's so fucking cool.
Actually,
looking, dude.
I feel like Snyder stole that from Avengers Age of Ultron.
Did he take it from John? Oh, he
There's
did
an exact scene where they're in the forest.
In the beginning of Age of Ultron. Holy shit.
He stole Joss's shot and he did it better.
It's the same thing because in the other movie, you just had like Aquaman riding the Batmobile, and this one, the teamwork is better, like you said, Anthony, and then fucking the triple defeat of Steppenwolf where Aquaman trident to the chest, Superman punches him towards the portal, and then it's hilarious, but so badass. Wonder Woman chopping his head off and the momentum sending him into the thing. It's fantastic.
I think Steppenwolf tried to convince Wonder Woman that he killed her mom, so she was pissed.
Yeah, he kept saying
he saw a vision with the boxes where he does kill her mom.
Yeah, he kept pushing her about all her sisters dying.
Well, the way it was cut in Justice is like you each had one of the characters fighting Steppenwolf at one-on-one. It was so weird. Whereas this one, like the scene on the bridge, right, where it's Aquaman, Cyborg, and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
In Justice's version, it's just Wonder Woman. But for whatever reason, they cut those two out.
Yeah.
And in this one, like you have them like teaming up.
So
they're
great.
doing.
You
have Cyborg shooting like the sonic booms while Aquaman's like banging the trident, so it like
flipping around,
reverberates quicker. Like it's just a lot for all the shit I give Snyder. He does know how to direct action, and he played with the powers. Like it was fun seeing them play with each other.
And especially to show after we've seen the first major fight where they are all trying to take him on one at a time, and it doesn't work out, and they fail in being able to stop him. This time around, with them working as a team with a plan that they've concocted where everybody has their part to play, it shows growth. So now you have things like Wonder Woman and Aquaman pulling him down with the lasso of truth.
Yeah, that was great.
The thing that I loved the most out of it was this far and above set up the idea of a Flashpoint movie better than the other one ever could have. Because it proved that when shit goes wrong and you don't know what else to do, Barry can immediately pull out the I'll just travel back in time.
You can do 30-second reset. Don't worry.
Well, doesn't he say something to himself before he's like, ignore, like he says something along the lines
like,
of
you're not
ignore
supposed
the rules.
You're not supposed to do this, but we're going to break the rules faster than you've ever ran.
I loved the way that entire thing was shot when he's running back in time. And him getting like the visions of like his dad and his dad talking to him and how he has to be a hero. Like such a better characterization than like
so much.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I know.
I'm just going to save one person. Ew, bugs. What am I doing here?
And then when Superman does show up, he's fucking badass. The suit looks great. Yeah, and he's brutal.
Music, sorry.
The Man of Steel music, they did the thing where he learns to fly like Man of Steel before. That was
One
great.
minor criticism.
Yeah.
Black suit is there because Zack Snyder thinks it's cool.
Okay,
There's no reason why he has the black suit.
There was a bunch of suits on the ship. Who's making these suits? He's like,
in the comics, it's like he wears a black suit to regenerate and get his powers. In this one, it was literally, I mean, it does look badass.
It looks badass. He just,
yep, it's just cool.
He went in his
I just
closet.
want him wearing the black suit.
He went in his closet. He's like, I haven't worn this in a hot
It's
second.
metal as fuck. I want it.
Yeah, but I did like the whole thing of all the fathers speaking to him.
That was good.
And his
Jor-El
father
and-
actually finally tells him to do it. Like
Fly,
Pa Kent
that
was great.
says, yes, this is what you're supposed to do.
And it's a beautiful shot where he rises up and the sun is silhouette and he's getting chars and it's fucking gorgeous.
I will say one missed opportunity I felt was if there was any spot in the movie where I would have been like, you do need like a quip here.
Yeah.
It's when Steppenwolf is about to hit Cyborg with the axe and then Superman flies in and blocks it by just putting himself
He just
in front
stands
of it.
there, yeah.
At that point, I would have loved something like, that's rude.
What did he say? He was like, not going to happen or something.
He goes, not impressed.
Not impressed.
Yeah, he says
that
not
was
impressed.
Lame. That was lame.
I don't want him to be tough.
Yeah.
I would like, well, that's rude.
Yeah.
Or, hi, I'm Superman.
Yes.
And then he punches him in the fucking face.
Yes.
Like,
that would have been great. It'd be like, hey, watch the cape or something.
Welcome to Earth.
Yeah. But his and like, remember the end of the first one where him and Cyborg separated and they fall and they make a shitty joke and they're laughing on the ground?
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
It was, is there going to be any blowback? Definitely. Well, I'd like being alive. And then it explodes and he falls to the ground and he goes, never mind. I wish I was dead.
Oh my God.
I mean, there's the scene where he, like in the original, Steppenwolf's hand goes past him in slow motion. In this one, you could see that Steppenwolf's hand is like not a human hand.
Yeah, it's got like
as he goes
7
past him.
fingers.
Yeah.
Like a nice.
It's just
nice
detail. There's little details like that where I'm like, man, they really fucked with Snyder's movie.
That or him punching the fucking horn off of his head.
He lasered it.
Oh, it was the laser. That was it.
But then he was just brutal, just beating him down, and Steppenwolf had removed his armor at that point.
It felt like a Christmas Story where he's just sitting on top of him, just punching him in the face.
Yes.
You bitch of frickin' fucking
Yeah, so the ending much improved, but that ending happens. There's still 30 minutes left of this fucking movie after the ending in an epilogue.
You know what? You know what? Another thing I want to point out before we get off of it, because I have it in my head.
Yeah.
Is number one, it was cool that Darkseid and Desaad and all Granny Goodness were all afraid of a Kryptonian.
Yeah.
That they had fear of Superman. But the thing I don't understand is that the mother boxes were scared of him too.
Yeah, they didn't activate.
But then Superman didn't exist for like a really long time.
They lay dormant for thousands of years.
And
no Kryptonians.
What about
and then
30
humans
years before?
and another thing that I want to point out is that like all the like the Amazonians and the fucking the other fucking guys, they all like these like complicated ways of storing the mother boxes, and the humans just threw it in the ground.
That's the best thing. What,
Buried it in 3 feet of dirt, and that was the one that was hardest for them to find.
And literally, the third one is in this dude's closet. That's where it is. You're going to look for it. It's in my fucking closet.
Well,
right
they
there.
found it in the dirt somewhere.
Well, they explained the Nazis found it and blah, 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 and he took it and he never returned it. So at least think, because I was like, you better explain how this fucking box ends up in his closet. This makes no sense. But they do. Okay, so that's the ending. Let's get into the epilogue. The first thing we see is an extended version of Lex Luthor meeting Deathstroke on the yacht, where this was new, right? He tells him
It's different.
Batman is Bruce Wayne.
It's different. In Justice League, he shows up and Lex Luthor's basically like, we need to form our own league. We need a league of our own, like fucking women's baseball movie.
There's no crying in DC movies.
Whereas in this one, it was supposed to set up Ben Affleck's Batman.
A movie that's never going to happen, yes.
You're right. So you have him you have Lex Luthor telling Deathstroke Batman's identity.
By the way, one of the things that I love, and the word love is in quotes here, because what I mean is this is ridiculous. The concept of a secret identity does not fucking matter in this
universe. Doesn't everybody
universe.
know Clark is Superman? Wouldn't that be obvious? That was my question.
Even
It's
away
never
from
really
that
explained.
is Clark Kent apparently died around the same time Superman did, and around the same time that Superman came back.
Oh, Clark's back.
Clark Kent goes back to his job at the Daily Planet. But before that is that when he shows up and he's fighting the Justice League, you have Lois just run out into the middle of the field going, Clark!
That gives it away! Clark! That doesn't everybody know? She's fucking enough with the Clark, Lois.
And then he kidnaps her.
Yeah.
But it's also, Bruce Wayne seems to give zero shits about who finds out that he's Batman.
Well, yeah, Diana finds him easily. They all find him.
Always lets people into the Batcave.
He actively goes seeking Arthur Curry and just waves in front of everybody. I'm Bruce Wayne. Here's $25,000. And by the way, I'm the Batman.
Yes.
Dress like a bat. You're out of your mind, Bruce Wayne.
Don't count on it, Bruce. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So then we get that set up to a movie that's never going to happen. Then we get a set up to two movies that are never going to happen. Another nightmare dream sequence Bruce has this time. They are in the...
This is actually new footage.
This was what they shot. Yeah. And you can tell because the green screening is really bad.
Why did they shoot this? This didn't need to be shot.
This is him setting up something that's never going to be done. Who do we have?
Why would they even do that?
They gave him full creative control.
Do whatever you want.
I think, and they gave him, what, like $100 million?
$70 million, probably a little bit more. So we have here, I guess Darkseid at the end, he goes, ready the Armada. We'll do this the old-fashioned way. So everything they did to stop Steppenwolf doesn't matter. Darkseid still comes, destroys the Earth. This is a shot from the future. You have Batman.
Do we want to get into what happened here?
Yeah.
How that?
Well, why?
Lois is dead, right?
So here's the well, not what we see. Do you want me to get into that, or let's save it?
Well, I want to
basically what Zack Snyder had planned to get us to this moment.
Because this scene, and then there's a scene earlier, Cyborg's vision also relates to the next two
the Kryptonian
movies.
Ship.
Right.
Before we talk about that, I got to talk about fucking Jared Leto. So you have Batman, Mira, Cyborg, Flash wearing what we saw him wear when he went back to see Bruce in Batman vs. Superman, and Deathstroke with a sick mullet. And...
I believe he was CG.
Sorry, Mohawk.
I believe the Flash was completely CG.
Oh, what he was wearing? Oh,
his face too.
Oh, the whole thing. Oh, so he wasn't there.
I don't think Ezra Miller was there.
Okay, and then you have Jared Leto's Joker. In the future, you notice things like he's had his tattoos removed.
He's just wearing more makeup over.
Or he's wearing more makeup. There's a brief exchange about him killing Robin, and then Batman alludes to, I held Harley Quinn while she was dying. And then there's a great line where he's like, you need me. Who's going to give you a reach around?
Oh,
which apparently was ad-libbed by fucking Jared Leto. And they left
none of that surprises me.
Well, what do you think that he meant by now be careful with what you say?
When he's like, be careful the next thing you say, because he's
saying
mad
to him, basically, I'll kill you right now.
And then Batman goes, when I kill you, and I will fucking kill you, I'm gonna enjoy it.
But like, what do you think he's like? Because obviously he's gonna talk about Robin. So why is he trying to tell him like, wait?
Well, he's saying, don't push my buttons.
I think he knows he's going to talk about Robin, but he also makes a reference to, your parents or your adopted son. Yes. You've had plenty of people you care about that have died because of you, and I think that's a jab at the death of Lois.
Actually, I think it's so. I've watched some videos of what it was planned for Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I think what he's saying is, watch your mouth. Don't talk about Lois Lane.
Okay, Anthony. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because this is how fucking wacky Zack Snyder's thought process were. What leads to Superman's downfall and becoming disenfranchised with the Justice League is Lois Lane dies with a kid in her stomach. Now, she dies with a kid in her stomach. No.
Yummy.
She has a kid. Superman thinks it's her kid. Darkseid kills her. But what we find out later on is that's actually Bruce Wayne's baby.
Oh, she was pregnant. There is a pregnancy test in the movie in her drawer.
So they were going to have the downfall of the Justice League be a Jerry Springer episode where there's a three-way where Batman has been hooking up with Lois Lane while Superman was dead.
Yes.
The video that I watched, the thing that I found confusing about it is they're basically saying that Superman is heading out to try and fight Darkseid to stop him from taking over the planet, and he decides that Darkseid is going to use one of his Omega beams to kill Lois in order to break Superman's spirit.
Right.
And he finds out about the baby. But the reason that she dies is because she was hiding out with Bruce and then tells Bruce, no, the baby is Clark's, and Bruce gets pissed
and leaves.
And just fucks off.
Okay, so
he doesn't help her.
But I guess the question is, as I understand it, when it comes to an Omega Beam,
I like seeing the Omega Beam underwater, by the way. We got to actually see it on screen.
If he plans on killing a certain person with it, you can't stop that.
No, that's the target, right? Beep, 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 beep.
So, what would Bruce being there have done to prevent this?
He would have fucking died, too. That's a good point. Okay, look, here, let me just set this up for anyone who's confused. The line Joker says at the end, he goes, you need me to undo everything you did by letting her die. This was, real quick, the plans for Justice League Parts 2 and 3. There were leaked storyboards drawn by Jim Lee that Warner Brothers scrubbed. So, Lex was going to gather the Legion of Doom. He found out about the anti-life equation. Bruce finds Riddler, who has solved the equation, and then Riddler kills himself. Lex finds the equation. Darkseid shows up, and Superman goes off to fight Darkseid. This is when Bruce and Lois are left alone. She tells Bruce, you're not the father. So they banged when Superman was dead. Lex tells Darkseid about Lois. Darkseid kills Lois. Superman is sad, gets taken by the anti-life equation, goes evil. Then it jumps ahead 5 years to this epilogue we saw because Darkseid has killed Aquaman and Wonder Woman.
Be part 3.
I thought this was going to be the end of part 2.
No, part 2 I believe part 2 was going to end with Superman going basically nuts.
Going evil. Okay, so then part 3 jumps ahead 5 years. Aquaman's dead.
Part 2 is basically Justice League versus the Injustice League.
So this is also where Cyborg's vision comes into play.
The Legion of Doom, sorry.
He sees Wonder Woman on a funeral pyre. He sees Clark holding a corpse, a burnt corpse of Lois, and fucking Darkseid consoling him. He sees Darkseid kill Aquaman. And then part 3, that was going to use the cosmic treadmill to send Flash back to warn Bruce a second time, because the first time clearly didn't work. Lois still died. So this time, Bruce tells Flash to tell himself that she lied and you're the father.
Lied. No, it was just going to be Lois lied.
Oh, Lois lied. So then that makes Bruce stay. But then to your point, I don't know how he stops Darkseid from killing her. Superman doesn't go evil. Batman dies. Everyone unites to kill Darkseid. And then 20 years later, Lois tells her kid that Bruce is her father, and he brings him to the Batcave, and he becomes Batman.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
The thing I will say is interesting in an aspect of it is that they play on the idea that the cosmic treadmill is built in the Batcave, because when he uses it, it will send him back to the exact same point on the planet that he is already at, just at a different time. And they've tried it several times and failed because Barry never had the right message and Bruce was too stupid to understand what was going on. And they could only do it at one point.
One time every year.
One time every year, when he could then make sure that he came back to the exact same spot where the planet was.
Yes, this is
while he was doing this.
So
it's like the reason we're 5 years into this terrible apocalypse is because the heroes are fucking idiots and they keep blowing their one shot.
They're dumb. But that's like H.G. Wells' time machine, time travel rules where time moves, but you have to be in
I think
the same
there are
spot.
remnants of I would have, first off, having seen this, I wouldn't mind seeing it play out.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
I wouldn't mind seeing that either, actually. I kind of want to see that shit, yes.
I also don't think it would work all that well, because I don't think Zack Snyder, I don't think framing it around a love triangle is the best idea in the world. It's actually pretty fucking awful.
Yeah.
That you would have Bruce Wayne fuck Lois Lane.
I think he does in the comic books, doesn't he?
Yeah, there's precedence for that in the cartoon and the comics.
Precedence, but it's not a great idea.
No,
especially for how much they play on the sexual tension between him and Diana in this movie.
I didn't get it. When did he have time? Like, you don't see any of that. When did he have time to hook up with Lois? Fuck.
I think it would have. I just think it would have gone off the rails pretty quickly there. He's always Zack Snyder's whole thing is he loves like the fan fiction side of the comics, like these alternate worlds and stuff, and they're fun. But to have an entire universe based around alternate world type shit, there's a reason why that stuff was alternate world, because it's not status quo. Not a lot of people think it's a fun side thing. They don't want that as their main.
It's his own
dinner.
version. So
I think that you have to, you can't have just this be the only version because it doesn't suit everyone's taste to these characters. It just maybe the Batman people would be cool with it, but then like the Superman people and the Flash people, they're not gonna be jiving with this. And even the Aquaman movie was a lot lighter than
way
this.
lighter.
It's also really rough to sell a 3-movie long storyline on the idea of by the end of this third movie, everything that we have seen will have never have happened and
reset.
never have mattered.
Then we'll go to the Flash movie. Well, look, if you're out there and you're tweeting hashtag restore the Snyderverse, if you're tweeting hashtag release the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, it's not happening. The Variety has an article, Warner Media CEO Ann Sarnoff basically saying, we love that Zack's fans love this, but we need to move past this.
I don't fully believe that.
I think
if there's enough,
yes,
there's enough. I mean, they had the Snyder's cut released because of it.
It could happen.
I think it could happen.
What if HBO Max? If this thing has legs and it picks up subscribers because of this? If they get a mad amount of subscribers, they're going to be like, man, maybe we should do these other two.
I say there's only one major stick in the wheel of that, and that's Ben Affleck.
He's not coming back.
Affleck doesn't care, and Affleck's not going to fucking come back to this.
Yeah,
there's a lot of problems going on.
Yeah, it's probably true.
Yeah, I can see that.
But
the only thing is like, if there's there's so much hype around this. Like, this is the first time.
It's huge.
I feel like, I don't know. I don't have any numbers in front of me. I feel like this is the first time DC and Marvel ever went head to head. And granted, Marvel's coming with Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is like built up on a universe, but still Falcon and Winter Soldier compared to the Justice League. I feel like DC finally won something.
Well, I was going to ask you who won the streaming weekend wars, and buzz-wise, definitely I see more conversations about Zack Snyder's Justice League right now.
I mean, the conversation you hear about Captain America is squishy face.
It's all squishy face, so they got that going.
So it's not good.
Whereas this, it's like, should we get the Snyder universe back?
Yeah,
like, should we do this? What are we
Restore
doing here?
the Snyderverse.
Can this completely restore the DCEU versus why does he look like a weird old man?
Do you think this got subscribers again? They got people to sign up. Also, you have to watch Batman versus Superman before to understand a lot of this. So that's a lot.
I think it's actually better if you don't watch it.
If you came into Justice League and you hadn't watched,
could you understand
at least Batman v Superman?
Yeah,
you're coming into a movie where literally the opening shot is Superman being murdered.
Yeah, you're like, what is this?
And
when
it's
did this happen?
You know what? I think I missed something.
Yes, when did this happen?
Can I ask, since we're, talking about Snyder?
Yeah.
And he obviously isn't a fit for Justice League. He's not, right? What would he be a fit for? Like, because obviously we got to see, like, him Unchained. He did have some, the action sequences were great, and they had the rhythm and all that stuff, and a lot of cool music, and it had impact. So I feel like he's maybe like shown everyone that he can direct a movie, but maybe he's just barking up the wrong tree as far as like what he's doing, like as far as subject matter wise. So do you think that he's just on the wrong franchise? Or
I mean, I didn't mind this take on a lot of his things. Like, this may be a good fit for him. No, well, what he did with Cyborg was very good and kind of surprised me even.
If he's going to play with source material, I just don't think whatever his inclinations are for risks, he should stop doing that. Because whenever he jumps into making it more grounded or like making it more badass, he fails. But if he can stick to just what's on the paper, good versus evil, make the action look awesome, that's his wheelhouse. Don't add any depth. When you add depth, it sucks.
Yeah, stop trying to be Alan Moore because you're not.
Right, exactly. I think he thinks he's Alan Moore.
I mean, the source, this is kind of original from his head, because if you think of like 300 and Watchmen, he is given the visuals on page. He just has to recreate them, and he's good at that. This is a lot of him coming up with these action beats and this composition, and I mean, a lot of it I really liked, so I surprised myself that I was like, holy shit.
I mean, look, he has some good instincts. He cast Wonder Woman.
Yeah, he's good casting instinct.
He came up with a great costume for her.
I think he cast the
All
whole
of them.
Justice League,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I think.
And I think they all are. I mean, what do you think, Ruggs? Do you think they're all good fits?
I mean, Ezra Miller's the one that stands out to me as like not being a right fit, but like everybody else seems to be great.
Yeah, Ezra Miller's not really very.
I mean, he's growing on me though. with
Lois
this one.
Lane, could do better as
And
well.
Lex is horrible.
I mean, she's a great actress,
Lex
but I just
Luthor
feel
is
like
wrong.
And Lex is bad too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
He got, for the most part, I would agree, he got all the heroes, at least casting wise, right?
It was a weird choice for Aquaman to be like Lobo, but because that's
worked
what
out.
that's what I see when I see him. I see Lobo. I see him. He's
that's
the main
very
man.
true.
In this one, he does get the tone of like gods and aliens on Earth among men. Like you kind of do get that, which is what a lot of DC is, gods and aliens.
Yeah.
So
I feel like Wonder Woman was probably the hardest thing to bring to life, and Aquaman. Like those two were a hard sell, and he, I think Cyborg's easy, Flash is easy, Batman's easy. We've already established Superman's. We've established.
Yeah.
Those are the two hard ones. Like Wonder Woman, how do you make her? You make her a warrior. You make her have a shield and a sword. And how do you do Aquaman? Well, you don't make him look like fucking Fred from Scooby Doo. You make him look a little bit more badass. Give him some tats. He had some good instincts.
Yeah, no, there's the framework of something good within him. It's just when he's untethered that I think he's not so good. I think he needs. I think he needs someone.
A partner.
I think he needs someone to bounce ideas off of.
He needs an editor. He needs someone to just be like, okay, cut this.
He needs a brother.
Yes,
literally the thing that I thought was you allow him to go untethered to make this 4-hour-long movie. Then you need to bring someone in who has an eye for being able to appreciate what works.
Yep.
Trim down what doesn't.
Yep.
And entirely gut the fucking last 15 minutes of this movie.
Absolutely. And I've said this since I've seen his first movie, and I don't know why he doesn't find someone to collaborate to do this, because that's actually absolutely yes.
If he wants.
Call Delhauer, because that's absolutely what he needs.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of that's ego, right?
Yeah.
No director really wants to have to bounce their ideas off of anyone. They want to be their own. They want to create their own stuff.
As an artist, you have to look at it from outside. You got to take constructive criticism. Sometimes those people are right.
But at some point, when you're at 4 hours, you should know. Okay, I got cuts on.
Maybe I should cut a couple of things.
But and especially, the other side of that is when you then have the executives that are like, all right, not only does this have to get cut down to only 2 hours, but we need you to start ticking all these boxes on what we think is going to be selling more tickets.
So you need the studio out of it, but he does need a dude to be like, Zach, fucking chill out.
Let me make one good comment about 4 hours. This is the only good comment. Because of streaming, we were able to get a movie that's basically uncut. And I think because of streaming, because in a movie theater, you have to run these movies over and over. And if 4 hours happens, that knocks out 2 movie slots. But on streaming, it doesn't matter the length. So I think this is a good thing in terms of creative freedom for directors, because they can go to streaming and they don't have to be confided into, we need to make this an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Right.
Make the movie as long as you want. We all agree this could have been cut, but I think overall it's a good thing for the industry that streaming is allowing movies to be this long.
I think the Russos were pushing for it. Remember, they were talking about how this is going to change what a movie is.
Oh yeah, there was talks of the rough cut of Endgame being 4.5 hours.
Oh, fucking show me that. Now put that out. Why can't you do that? I'm actually really happy that this cut of this movie exists in the world.
It's a strange. It's
such a weird
thing.
thing.
It's good, but it's such a weird thing.
So if you saw this and you were like, "This has too many colors," well, guess what? Zach's announced he's coming out with Justice League Gray. It is a black and white version of this movie.
What?
Yes,
is this serious?
I'm absolutely serious. Coming to HBO Max.
Is
in
this
May.
why all the aliens were already gray?
They were already gray.
Is it going to be widescreen, or is it still going to be in the square?
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. This version.
And how many frames per second is it going to be? Is it going to be like jerky, like the Charlie Chaplin movies or whatever? It's black and white.
It's black
digital
and white.
Scratches in the film.
It's not a talkie. It's a silent film with captions you have to read.
That's even more bad.
The movie is 8 hours long now. No, this will
so revolutionary.
So check this out. Snyder said this will have more footage of Jared Leto's Joker. So he has now made another version with more shit in there, and now I'm going to have to watch it and fast forward to the end to see what the fuck he's talking about.
If literally the only thing that he's offering me with this is
extra
now
footage,
it's in black and white and I get to see more of Jared Leto,
yes.
No, I'll fucking skip, bro.
Yes, no, fuck that show.
I've seen enough. Fuck
like,
that show.
I will say,
how indulgent is this?
Because of how much I will say, just to preface this, that I did enjoy this version of Justice League. I cannot express how much I fucking hated that nightmare sequence.
At the end, you didn't like that at all. Yeah.
I didn't care. I didn't care at all. The CGI looked bad. The dialogue was awful. I don't want Jared Leto in these fucking movies. He's not good. I don't care who tries to convince me.
That scene didn't need to be shot.
It confused me.
Why is Mira now like half Australian?
Yeah, why does she have an accent? She had an American accent in Aquaman. What the fuck
that
is
was
this?
the intent. I think they wanted her to have more of a regal feel. I would say, like, it's weird because that scene kind of just is thrown on. It feels thrown on because it is. Yeah. Like, the movie's already ended, and now we have, like, a drawn-out
you're like, what is this?
Dream sequence again for a movie that's not going to come out, so why are we even watching this? It does feel tacked on, and it's excessive.
I think that this is hubris on the part of Zack Snyder.
It's indulgence.
Thinking that he's going to like change everyone's mind and they're going to go ahead with
I think he's trying to plant
This is what I would have done.
He's trying
to... guess what, bro? Too bad.
Not happening. He's trying to plant those seeds. If the fans could do it once,
that's a good point. Yeah, he might have been auditioning for.
Absolutely. You want to see?
He's trying to get support from the fans. The fans did it this time. He feels like they're going to assemble and do it again.
Did the aspect ratio? This thing isn't a square. It's a 4:3 box, not lettered box, not widescreen. Did that bother anyone?
Well, I mean, Imran, that was to preserve the vision of Zack Snyder.
Exactly. Well, that's the reason why.
It didn't bother me.
He shot the whole thing on IMAX, and he's fallen in love with this square composition. And he's like, oh, superheroes are more vertical than horizontal anyways. But I think you get a little more screen real estate, actually, than a letterbox.
You get actually everything he shot.
Yeah.
In the frame.
But it's so weird that it's in a square.
Whatever.
Like it's a fucking square. I don't know. It's just it bothered me for a little bit and then I forgot about it. You know?
I think it's stupid, but also like what am I going to do about it?
He thinks in squares. So
do you think that it'll ever get like zoomed in?
No, but then you're cropping all the shit out. You can't even widescreen it.
Also, by putting this in 4:3 because he wants to fit an IMAX screen, this is very much a hey guys, it's already ready if you want to say, I don't know, put this out in IMAX at some point.
He just shoots everything in this IMAX for just because. Speaking of IMAX, Tenet also on HBO Max in May. So if you want to mind fuck and you haven't seen it.
Oh, if you want to be pissed off after
if you want to get really mad. Well,
can I hear it?
You can hear it and you can see it. You can't see it. You can't hear it. You can hear it backwards. Anyway. Okay, so let's finish up, holy fuck, with... Give me a rating. Let me know where it lands in the DCU movies for you, in Zack Snyder movies. Anthony, let's start with you.
Where do I rank it with Zack Snyder films?
Sure.
Like I said, it's the best thing he's done since 300. I think 300's better because it's fucking shorter. But I do like the Justice. Like at the end of the day, I still like these characters. So to see them realized on screen, and even though the road we got to this point was bad.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with all the decisions. To see, at least for like that 4-hour span of movie watching, I got to enjoy the characters for what they were, and it was fun, and there was a shit ton of action, and I enjoy the characterizations for the most part. As far as like, do you want me to rank it with DCEU?
No, I think against Zack Snyder makes
like
more
I said,
sense.
Best since 300, probably his second best thing, but the rest of the stuff I don't really like, so that doesn't mean much. As far as a rating, I think it's like a 7.5. And I think the movies might have even, we'll probably all agree on this, if he could cut it down to 3,
it could be really good.
It could be an 8 or 8.5. He actually did something really good here.
Yeah.
I give him full props. But, you know, at the end of the day, he's still Snyder, and that's why it's fucking 4 hours.
Delhauer.
I'm just looking through my notes to see if there were any jokes or nitpicks I didn't hit on yet.
Anything else? There's still tons of shit, but we could be here all night.
Things like Gal Gadot, not a great narrator.
No,
Dude, she killed people in front of children. She blew out the wall, exploded that dude.
I was gonna say she saves everybody from a bombing and then she blows up the building.
Then she blows up the building when the bomb was in there at the beginning.
Oh, look, it's Amber Heard and she's not physically abusing anyone. Now that's what I call acting.
Johnny Depp's happy. He's nowhere near this.
Remember when she pulled the water out of Steppenwolf?
That was awesome.
And made the blood?
Yeah,
that was
dropping
badass.
him in the air bubbles.
I love that the only power the Atlanteans have is making air bubbles underwater.
Yeah, what's with the air bubbles? They didn't do that in the fucking Aquaman movie, did they? No. This is how he talks about it in underwater.
2 out of 3 mother boxes create a stronghold the size of a town, but all 3 take over the world. How does that work?
Okay, good point.
I think that might have been the end of them. Yeah, okay. So then it just got into like my little tidbits about like, oh yeah, this movie was only helped by the fact that COVID happened.
Yeah.
My feeling is ranked among Zack Snyder movies, maybe second or third best movie he's made. I definitely like 300 a lot. I liked his version of Dawn of the Dead, but even then I thought it was like, all right. The opening to his version of Dawn of the Dead, I think, is one of my favorite things from that.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
In terms of DCEU films, maybe third or fourth. I definitely liked... The funny thing is, my favorite DCEU film, Shazam.
That's a great movie.
My favorite film, too.
Yeah, it's definitely up there.
And it's funny because it does actually fit the Marvel build, but it still offers a lot in the way of like the lore of the magic and the godhood of these characters. Not a perfect film. None of them are. I would probably rank Birds of Prey above this just because I think it was more fun.
I like that movie.
I like Birds of Prey.
The entire fight scene in the police station.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite things from the DCEU.
It's colorful.
But beyond that, I feel like every other movie sucked worse than this.
Okay. Give me a number.
I'd 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Sounds
number.
good. Rugs.
Whoa. Okay. As far as first of all, let me just say clear improvement, like head over whatever. head and heels over fucking the Justice League.
Yes.
So I think that's a vindication for him. I think also in terms of his movies, this movie's the least offensive.
Yep.
Until you get to the end where Batman's threatening to kill the Joker. Pretty much the characters are pretty good. They're in line. They're in stomping ground. I mean, yes, Wonder Woman is killing people.
That's fine.
But I mean, they're at least within vision of the original characters. I would agree with everybody else. Like his third best movie. As far as the DC movies, I would probably put Wonder Woman and Shazam over this. I don't know. I don't know if I like Man of Steel more than this, or it's on the same level. But I don't know. I'm not like. I don't know.
I think the only thing that puts for me Wonder Woman just under this is the third act of that movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. But I'm going to give it a 7.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, I enjoyed it.
Imran, tell us why you gave it 10 out of 10.
I give this movie 12 stars. Is that a thing? No, I'm same with you guys. I really was surprised that I dug this movie. I had a good time. I was surprised that there was actual character development. I like the darker operatic tone, and as a standalone, like what if Elseworld, it was great to see his vision. I felt satisfied. It was very satisfying. And as far as rewatchability, I definitely see myself going back to watch some of these fucking scenes because they're insane. I do think it's one of his better superhero movies. It's up there. It's the best use of the movies with these characters for sure. I do like 300 and Watchmen. So it's one of his better directed movies. And as far as out of the whole DCU, it's like kind of in the middle, kind of solidly in I think maybe a little bit higher in the middle. I mean, I would put Shazam, Wonder Woman, maybe above it.
That's not.
That's not
only
middle.
10 films.
There's only 10. What was the other one? Well, maybe Birds of Prey. I do really enjoy the Birds of Prey. Maybe.
I've actually never seen Aquaman.
You never seen Aquaman? It's fun.
No,
it's a wild movie.
It's everything Aquaman thrown into one.
It's whoever the director is trying to hit home runs with every shot.
James Wan. But the new score was fantastic. So, I was surprised. It's one of his better, kind of even coherent movies. Yeah. I'm also going to give it like a 7.5. I think that's solid. It's a crazy thing that this thing exists and how he was able to finish this and what it looks like, and so much is in here.
Let me just say it's going to be weird for me, like moving forward, because you're still supposed to think of the DCEU as a shared universe,
right?
And I don't know what my headspace is supposed to feel about this movie in terms of everything else. Like, am I supposed to remember it? Am I supposed to not? I'd rather not remember Justice League.
That one is canon, though, and this one isn't technically.
You just gotta watch it like it's in a vacuum.
It's in its own thing. Yeah, this is the Zack Snyder verse, and to see his
the only reason I can't fully do that is I just have a feeling that this is going to be canon eventually.
Oh my God, you can't just make it a separate canon.
We've
make
already
it its
gotten
own
to the point where a director got to sit back in his chair and remake the movie he wanted to make.
All right, here's what we should do then. We get the #canon cut.
#canon cut.
3.5 hour version of this movie.
Oh, God.
Trim it down here and there. Get rid of that first Martian Manhunter bit. The last 10 minutes, get it out of here. I don't need to see your dick, Zach.
There's random scenes of like...
His dick is in this?
I missed that. It was in the post-credits.
Can I make this really outlandish request?
Yeah.
Not a request. What do you think the probability of someone trying to Frankenstein Justice League
with
in
this
together?
Movie? How would you
like trying to reconcile what they liked about Justice League
you're
and what
a sick person.
Because I've heard people go, I like this bit from Justice League, and I was mad that it wasn't in there.
Oh, somebody's gonna cut that together.
So.
You immoral piece of shit!
What a sick person that would be.
But unfortunately, that movie helps this movie.
The aspect ratios.
Not about the aspect
also,
ratio.
Justice. I mean, he'd have to really desaturate Justice's movie.
Oh yeah, you have to turn the colors all the way down.
Oh well, we can do that with the black and white version coming out.
That's
so, does this #canon cut, Delhauer? Is this in color or is this black and white?
It's not in black and white. I don't need that bullshit. Like I said, stop showing me your dick.
Yeah, you know what? The one thing I thought of is I was like, there's no precedence for this, but there kind of is, and it's a movie I still have yet to see, and it's the Richard Donner cut of Superman. I've been dying to see that for many years.
Well, it's not the same thing because Richard Donner didn't get $70 million to finish his movie.
No.
They just used whatever was left, and some of it didn't match.
Okay, so this is unprecedented.
You know the one movie that I kept thinking of that was similar?
Yeah.
Alien 3.
Oh, the director's cut of that.
Cut, a part of a big franchise.
Yeah.
Some people think that one's better.
Also, funny enough, in this similar vein, the final cut of Blade Runner.
Oh.
How many times did Ridley Scott go back and keep recutting the movie until he liked it?
It's like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So there is some precedence of indulgent directors, but like this, maybe nothing.
Lucas, I mean, added all sorts of footage
you got
to his
fucking
Star
Lucas
Wars
going
movies.
back. I'm adding CGI Jabba the Hutt back to everything, you fuckers.
He's in every scene of the movie, every frame.
Every background is just cluttered with
Everyone
fucking
shoots at different times.
There's just spaceships in any open sky in those movies. He's just filled with spaceships for some reason. Really? That's enough spaceships, George. Stop. Okay, good stuff. We could talk about this fucking movie for hours. It is quite a crazy experiment, and we have. Before we peace out, I do want to let everyone know, you guys, the stuff that we are coming up programming. We will be reviewing WandaVision.
Whoa.
Winter Soldier. I all went backwards in time, like Tenet. We will be reviewing Winter Soldier every week for the next 5 weeks. Coming out this week, you can enjoy. We'll review it next week. Invincible, Amazon Prime, Robert Kirkman's adaptation. The first 3 episodes coming out this Friday, March 26th. And then if you are not in the U.S., you are lucky because you will get to see Godzilla versus Kong.
Geek Boner.
This Friday, internationally released, March 26th, comes to the U.S. March 31st, HBO Max, we will be reviewing that the following week.
Awesome.
Wait, it comes out in the theater the 26th?
It comes out internationally on this Friday, not in the U.S., overseas.
Ooh, we're going to have to stay away from
So there might
spoilers.
there might be some leaks for
what
a
it's
few
worth.
days.
Early reactions are very positive.
They are. So I'm excited to watch Godzilla
excited
versus
too.
Kong. That's going to be fun. And Invincible.
I'm really pumped for the 4-hour version they'll release in 5 years.
Yes, is there going to be a 4-hour Godzilla versus everybody versus Batman version? Should be Godzilla versus Superman. Invincible, I'm also excited for. I heard early reactions are pretty good to that one. Delhauer, thank you so much for fucking coming on and talking Justice League. What do you got going on? What do you want to plug? Plug some shit.
I guess the biggest thing that I would plug is I'm one of those guys who streams on Twitch now.
I was watching you, Delhauer.
Oh, gross.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Did you follow? Because if you didn't, then what the fuck,
I
man?
did it
Come on.
because I
need to grow this
I
audience.
followed because the video just played in the Twitter when I clicked it. But you were playing that game where you talk to ghosts on the old timey radio.
Yes, at the moment I am playing a game that is called At Dead of Night, in which I am wandering around a hotel talking to ghosts on a radio while the man who owns the hotel is trying to murder me.
It was fun to watch. I was enjoying it.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's terrifying.
It's a cool
good
story.
time.
What is what's the how do we find you on the Twitch?
So, if you are looking for me on Twitch, I will post on my Twitter every day if I'm going to be going live. But on Twitch, it is the name is Matty DVO. Or as some people have dubbed it, Matty Devo.
Matty Devo. Look up Matty Devo, and you can see his fun hair on the Twitch. I saw that.
Yes.
I have fun hair, but no one's going to see it. Maybe I'll post it in the Facebook group on our 60-year
We
anniversary.
both have pretty fun hair.
Oh, and Anthony's working on a business mullet, and I have weird dreads.
I'm braiding my pubes.
Yeah. I look like... Are you?
That's behind the paywall on Patreon.
Rugs,
Yeah.
where can people see your pubes?
Oh, you won't see my pubes, but you can see me at Really Rug Boy on Twitter. Come by and say hello, please.
If you want to see the pubes, you're right. Delhauer, jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Slide into my DMs.
We'll show you give us money, I'll show you whatever pubes you want, listener. Make sure you share the show, listener. That's the most important thing. Spread the geekery, spread the stupidity. We'd appreciate it. Thank you guys for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
I will fucking kill you.
Reach around there, Batman.
Oh, I forgot to mention, he sounded like Jim fucking Carrey the whole time.
Yes, he did. Jared Leto.
Jock and Nerd.